that kind of stuff to an inspector. But if an appraiser thinks that these things should be done, they can make note of it and make it a requirement of the loan if the bank listens to them. But it depends. If this is an independent appraiser, I don't think they're, first of all, what I mean by independent, he doesn't work for the bank. He works for 10 banks. So normally, under those conditions, appraisers keep their mouths shut. But if an appraiser sees that the house needs some paint here and there, the appraiser can mention it. Now, the appraiser can't make it required, okay?
Okay.
But the bank can
for
the loan.
Would they still release that appraisal, saying, you know, hey, everything's good and it's up to snuff on the number, and then the lender could just come back and say, hey, we can't, you know, lend the buyer
it depends
the money
on
that?
It depends on the relationship. The buyer in this case goes to a bank or to a loan officer, a loan broker, whatever. Who is the buyer going to? Who are they getting a loan from?
You know what? I really don't know. They're you know, their side of the story. I'm just, you know, kind of sitting on our side doing what I need to do to get sold.
Their lender is the one who hires the appraiser. The appraiser, it depends. What do you mean, will he release the appraisal? Yeah, I mean, he can or not. I mean, I don't know. He's working for the buyer. He's not working for you. He's working for the buyer, but mostly for the bank. So even if the appraiser feels that the value is there, he can talk the bank into making other requirements. So the bank can say, well, if this house is not painted, they don't care who does it, if the seller does it, if the buyer does it, but if the bank feels really strong about it, the bank can make it a requirement. So where are we going with this right now? I don't understand. Why are you involved in this?
Well, because my realtor come back and said the appraisal will not be released until the chip paint is taken care of, which, Tom, isn't a big deal. I did it Saturday, so I think we're good on everything.
But I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, this is the weirdest thing in the world. I've never heard of an appraiser holding up a deal. They simply make it a condition, and the bank comes back and says, you have to do this. Hold on, we'll come right back.
Guys, during breaks now, it's a little different because we have a new clock, so he'll be doing spots constantly in the breaks. We just simply can't bullshit like we used to. It's they got to be exact. He either has to nail them at 30 or 60. Okay. So basically, you guys can
Guys, I'm going to be doing commercials now and then, you know. So when you hear the monitor go off like this,
yep.
And Parker Road still shut down there in both directions. That's between Franktown and Palmer Divide due to the weather and conditions along that stretch. So in the
I-25 was clown for 2 hours.
Chilly, a high of 31. Right now, lights
I come up here and there's nothing.
If you traffic weather,
nothing. We still have 3 inches or 4 inches.
Nobody should have to pay for one size fits all.
You guys can get all that wet stuff that we got.
Your coverage, so you only pay
for
one.
We got a lot of stuff there. We got a
for a customized quote.
You just in Colorado Springs.
Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. You've heard me talking about the real estate market and how it's changing. Well, interest rates change too. But you don't have to worry about interest rates if you go with Ideal Home Loans. Why? Because they give you an interest rate guarantee, which means if you close at one rate and rates go down, they will refinance you free of charge. So it's just in and out. Here's the deal, though. They have to go down by 0.75%, which isn't much, and you get that 2-year guarantee. Now, if they go up, you don't do anything. You stay right where you are. So you get the best of all worlds with Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. Remember, you can always choose to go with Ideal and get that interest rate guarantee and choose your rate. It can be 26 years, 22 years, 18, 17 years. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000, 867-7000.
trade wars.
You gave me 10 at 40. Okay, good. Okay, as long as I wasn't wrong, I'm sorry.
It's an interesting year for the economy, right? But if you think about it, the only thing you look at
that's a great point right there. The interest rate on the deal home loans. That's exactly what we do with this annuity that was
Can you pull up the review?
If the market goes up,
Pull up the
capture the
review
market gain.
and put
When
the
the market
browser
goes down,
we're talking
you stay
about
the
so
same.
people watching the money. You follow?
It's the same as what
You follow?
Is the
all
browser where it's at?
But the money is tied up.
Yeah, remember you can go into
You can actually
Phoenix
take you can
and show
take
whatever in the
10%.
browser.
What's that, sir?
You
Or
can just
take
take a picture of
10%
it.
every year.
However you want to do
Penalty.
it. Give access.
Of the review.
Without penalty.
I don't think that they don't want to do that.
And the money goes
got his name, his birthday, and all that.
Okay, so pull it up and then
Annuity
just black out. You gotta do
Taxes
that.
can take it out.
I'm not talking about taking it out. I'm talking about
Tax deferred, tax deferred, tax deferred.
you can't borrow from it like the other one.
You cannot.
Okay. Then why would you do that? instead
This is
of
like
the
a
other?
retirement, just another retirement vehicle, just another pool of money.
Just so it's a lot for
Just like you were saying, ideal, interest rate is phenomenal.
What is the
Look at, see, it depends on the S&P 500. It does
So it floats.
So anybody that puts a negative view, then he puts on and says.
Well, whatever it is, you're going to get a gain, like a percentage of the S&P 500, like if it grows by 10 points, you're going to get 7. If it drops down to 0, you stay at 7. When it goes up again, you're going to get,
You can only ratchet.
you can only ratchet up. That is
And it
correct.
stays at
It
the
stays
highest
at,
rate.
that is right. It will never go down.
So if it reaches a new high, it stays
It
at the
stays at
new
that
high.
level.
But it's never at the S&P, that's just the barometer.
That is the barometer, that's the
He actually
barometer.
puts it as a molester.
It's phenomenal. It's the best of
What
both
is
worlds.
what is the top loaded cost going in? If I put 100 in, if
Fake
100
case, he
There
said.
you actually
it
get
was,
a
the guy
10%
said.
bonus, so you have 110 showing.
Yeah, I got an illustration for you to see right here.
And the only fee is 0.95%.
It's less than 1 basis point.
per year.
Per year.
Per year.
Yeah. So that's one of the
So is
lowest.
that management fee?
That's just everything.
That's everything.
That's what they call the kind of writer fee. 'Cause it comes
Right,
in
so basically
pension.
1% could be
Right.
off your.
It's like home, then they forward their
Right.
points to the
Which is
CBI.
phenomenal.
So that'll be
You
an
don't see that.
investigation.
With most floods, you pay 3%.
Yeah.
Yeah, management.
Yeah.
Trade.
Oh, well, you are paying. I mean, if you look at the S&P, I can put money on that. I mean, what I'm saying is, I can
Right.
go a stock fund, but you are paying 3 or 4%. Because
You're gonna
the
get-
S&P is at, what is the S&P right now?
It's about, we'll check it out here, because it changes.
I mean, what is the rate?
It just depends on what they would buy. I
Okay,
mean, our
give
average
us a rate.
person.
I mean, if it's
yeah,
8,
average
and this
person
pays,
is
and
about
this
5 to
pays,
6.
and this pays 5 on 8.
Right.
It's
Minus 1, well,
Right.
there's a 4%
Right,
spread.
right.
I mean, it's not without cost.
Well, absolutely, but there's no danger of losing the
I
money.
totally get it. No, I
great.
just like everything laid out, so I
Yeah, well,
understand.
absolutely, yeah.
I don't like the sales job. I mean, I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind what you do as far as selling.
Right.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay. Do you think it's weird, Mark, that an appraiser says, I'm not releasing this appraisal until you touch up the paint? What do you think? Joe Chiano, you're a businessman. Have you ever heard something like that? Joe is in.
Never heard of it.
Never.
Never heard of it. Never
it's
heard of
weird.
it, Tom.
I mean, I can
Never.
see them recommending it, but to make it a requirement, it just doesn't make sense.
Maybe he's
to me.
thinking the inspector. Maybe he's got the whole
no,
thing.
No. Rod
wrong.
knows what he's talking about. The inspector had no problem. So, Rod, what did the buyer say, more importantly, since the buyer is the one here who really hired the appraiser through the lender? What did the buyer say? Are you there, Rod? So Rod's not there. Okay, so I just hung up. So anyway, if anyone else has heard this, let me know. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Joe Chiano, certified financial planner, is here talking about Become the Banker and some other things. Listen, I am not trying to sell any one product to anyone at any time. That includes like reverse mortgages. You hear me talk about specifically they're good, not for everyone, right? But for some people, it's a great idea. Then you hear me talk about annuities, which I almost never like, but there are some better than others. And then you hear me, and Joe has one of those, and Joe has Become the Banker, which is a life insurance policy. I'm not trying to sell any of them. Joe is trying to sell them, and he has reasons for them, and I know for sure they won't hurt you. I know that for sure. like I said, with the reverse loans, if you go to approvalreverse.com, you'll never be burned. Becomethebanker.com. Joe, God, as he's been doing this, how many years now, Joe?
20 years, Tom.
Yeah, and I
20 years.
remember you the whole 20 years.
Right.
Suzanne, what were you going to say?
I've had a couple people mention on that appraisal report it could be an FHA loan. They're a little pickier there.
You're right about that, by the way.
That's
FHA,
true.
FHAs can require stuff, but yeah, okay.
They can actually require that.
You're right. Andrew, what's happening? I'm Tom. What's going on, Andrew?
Good morning, Tom.
What's going on?
I'm having some trouble with Firestone that I had some service done in North Glen.
Firestone. Back in June, what did you have done, Andrew, that could haunt you now?
I had a ball joint replaced.
Oh, okay. And what happened?
And part of the tie rod. Anyway, that same day they also suggested I get my brakes done, and I remember the technician just got real upset when I didn't get the brakes redone. So, I thought he was having a bad day or something. But anyway, a few weeks later, I started hearing a scraping noise.
Do they work on commission at Firestone, by the way? Do you know, Mark, in the business? Do they work on commission?
Almost every single shop, the technicians work on commission, yes.
So they get spiffed if they sell stuff.
Yeah, generally they get paid by the hour out of the Mitchell's book.
It doesn't mean dishonest. It just means they have an incentive. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as they don't lie to you or do anything to screw up things on purpose. Okay, so Andrew, in June, Firestone, ball joint tie rod. What's the problem now?
Okay, so I was hearing a scraping noise, and I thought it might have something to do with the brakes, since he suggested, getting the brakes replaced.
Back in June.
And then.
Well, by the way, why didn't you get the brakes done if they needed it, or why didn't you at least get a second opinion?
Well, I didn't have the money at that time.
But wouldn't you want to know your brakes are safe?
Well, I had been told before. I had replaced the brake pads not too.
So you were kind of doubtful. You were kind of doubtful.
Yeah, I was kind of doubtful.
All right, so what's going on with the scraping noise? What did it turn out to be?
So what happened was I parked the car from August until November and didn't drive it.
Why?
Just because I went out of town.
All right.
I started driving it again more on the highway because I started working down in a tech center and was driving on the highway every day. The scraping noise started getting worse, and I thought still it might be the brakes. So the first week in December, I went and bought the parts to replace the brake pads and the right rotor.
So June to August you drove it, no problems. Then in November when you put it back on the road after parking it, you heard the noise. You thought it was the brakes. I'm waiting with bated breath, as they say. What is it?
Okay, well, I heard the scraping noise before I parked it, and then I heard the scraping noise again after I started driving it again. So I went to get the brakes replaced. There was nothing really unusual about the
Where'd you go for the brakes?
I went to a friend that was working at a shop close to my house.
What shop?
You know what? I don't know the name of it.
Okay, so you went to a friend, and did the friend replace the brakes?
Yeah, they lifted it up, replaced the brakes, didn't notice that anything too unusual, just a little bit of wear. But anyway, after that, the scraping noise started getting worse.
Well, so hold on. You mean this guy that your friend did not drive it to take or get a diagnosis? He just replaced the brakes?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. What happened then?
Because I told him, that the brakes needed to be replaced. And
okay, gotcha.
And because Firestone had told me that.
I get you, man. I get you. So far, I haven't heard what the scraping is, and you're like, you're a mystery writer, Andrew. That's what you are. You like to unfold this slowly to keep me on my toes. So what is it?
Okay, so the scraping noise started getting worse. I called my friend and asked him to check.
Dun 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 dun.
Because I didn't think it was the brakes.
Dun dun. Yeah.
So he was going to check it the Saturday before Christmas. Dun, so Friday morning, I was on the highway. Dun. The scraping noise got really bad. I pulled on the side of the road. I checked the tire.
Oh my goodness! Is everyone wondering what it is? Let's take a guess.
I was driving down the highway, it got worse, and boom, the wheel broke off.
Oh, my God.
On the highway.
Oh, my God. Wait.
Rush hour traffic.
Which wheel? Which wheel?
The right front wheel.
Okay, now here's what I think. Because I am so good at doing this after all these years. Here's what I want to say. You mentioned some key phrases when you told me your story, that they recommended brakes, and when you didn't want him, the guy got huffy, and therefore you had, here's what I'm thinking that you're thinking. Andrew is thinking this guy was pissed off and sabotaged my vehicle.
I don't think he sabotaged it on purpose. I don't think anybody would do that.
Okay, what do you think, then what do you think happened?
Other than that.
What do you think happened?
Well, when we when I towed the car home, I had the mechanic come over and look at the car with me, and we put the brakes and the rotor back on, and then that's when we realized that he didn't complete the job on the rotor. He didn't put clamps on the boot that goes over the rotor.
So he did a bad job.
And we noticed the ball joint was broken.
But here's what's important.
Crash.
He did a bad job. It all boils down to this. I had some work done at a Firestone in June, and he didn't do it correctly. Therefore, I had a scraping noise and broke off my wheel. That's it in a nutshell. Now, I'm not saying I didn't like the mystery. I liked it the way you presented it. But here's the bottom line. You have to connect that job with him. And after all this time, and I know that's why you told me you parked it a while, it doesn't matter. As far as it goes, you had work done in June, and it's now July, August, September, October, November, December, January. We're looking 7 months later. You get a wheel come off, and you're going to try to tie it back to them. Mark, do you think he can make that case? Man, I don't know. That's what do you think? Tough one. I mean, that ball joint. Did he ever do the ball joint or no?
The technician at Firestone did the ball joint.
He did do the ball joint.
Yeah,
he was paid to do it, but did he actually do it?
It was a new ball joint, but I don't think he tightened up the nut on the bottom.
Because
I think that came loose.
That could be, Andrew. That could be that he didn't. But I don't know if you can make that case. And here's something. 7 months. There is something called mitigation of damages. And I just want to say this quickly, and I know you're not going to agree with me, but please listen, Andrew. At the point you heard the scraping noise, you had an obligation to have it checked out, not to have your brakes replaced, to have it checked out. That's why I asked when you went to your friend, did they do a diagnosis? No. You told him to replace my brakes, and that's what he did. So here's what we have. It's called a failure to mitigate. If I was the guy at Firestone, my defense would be, even if I hadn't tightened it, even if you can prove that, which is going to be hard, the fact is you did nothing to mitigate it. Therefore, that additional damage is on you. Now, Andrew, that's not what you want to hear, but I can't take this case because of that. So as they say in the Shark Tank, you're out. But I like you. I like your stories. But no, we can't make this case. We can't. What I suggest you do, Andrew, is because I believe you. I believe you, and I think you're right. The problem is you let it go too long. Here's what I would do. I would go to Firestone and say, look, you're the only one that worked on the front end. The wheel came off. What will you do for me?
You know what? I took it back to them, and nobody followed up with me for 5 weeks. Finally, an inspector went out there without me, and he determined that the wheel was loose on the car without ever speaking to me about what led up to it.
Okay. Well, Andrew, I'm sorry.
And they had offered an inspector to meet me there, and they never did that.
Now, you want to try small claims court? That's another one. Now, Gary wants an opinion on an annuity. Gary, this is a very important question, and it can't all be answered by phone call, but I can tell you some important stuff. Are you looking for an annuity for retirement?
Yes.
Okay, if you can please hold on, I'm going to go over it. But I want to say this. Most annuities are crap. Why? We'll talk about it coming up.
Joe, you have to tell us why most annuities are crap. You got to be straight about it. What makes the crappy annuity crappy? And then you have to tell me the worst characteristics of yours and the best. I'm telling you, you've got to be straight about this shit because people will find out anyway. So I want to know annuities in general. What's crap about annuities in general?
Can't go liquid.
And then the other one is, what is the best part about yours and how is it different? But what are some of the disadvantages of yours over cash?
All of them, the biggest dish.
Here's what I want to tell you, and this is, but here's the deal. If, and top loading, front end loading, but if we do this with people, you'll make more sales than you have.
Absolutely. Or actually a texture. You just have her name.
I'm sorry, we don't have a Centino on the books here. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll do that.
You're almost through the day. Make it to the finish line with P3 portable protein.
They're back end loaded, Don. They're back end loaded.
And perfect for on the go.
Okay,
Grab
I
the
get
more
this one
interesting
spot.
way to get your protein with P3.
Centeno Schultz for Living Stem Cell Therapy. You know what? I am going to get evaluated by Centeno Schultz. Now, I've never told you that before because I was waiting. Now, I had the crap done, the fake stem cell therapy, and it helped a little because of the growth factors in amniotic fluid. But know this. Amniotic fluid is not living stem cells. If a chiropractor tries to sell you on that, they're lying to you. Umbilical cord is not living stem cells, not when shipped into you. So listen. Centeno Schultz, the real deal. I'm going to track everything I'm doing, and yes, I am paying. This is a real deal. 303-963-9201. I've been to one of their seminars. You can go too to find out more. TheStemCellExperts.com. TheStemCellExperts.com. That's Centeno Schultz. 303-963-9201. Please check them out first before anyone else. That's TheStemCellExperts.com. Now, customization.
Dan, since you had YouTube is live, the problem is if a listener goes to referrallist.com and hits watch live, it's a lot to navigate to actually find the live video. Do you want to go to referrallist.com real quick so I can show you?
Oh, I haven't done it. Oh.
And so I had somebody say it's not live on YouTube. Well, it is live on YouTube. Hi, Jordan. How are you?
No. Because I restarted, I just got to redo it.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about now. Sweet.
Wait, so it's not always like that, is what you're saying?
No, because I had to restart it.
He had to reboot.
I had to reboot and stuff, so the referral, I got to redo it for the referral.
Okay, that's good to know.
But your nights 10 p.m. 60-15-75. Listen up, Denver area. The National Real Estate Network, a nationwide team of skilled investors, is offering free real estate investment training right now. They're looking for highly motivated people to come connect with their team. No experience necessary, just the desire to thrive. Text Denver 474747 now, and the network will send you their promotional riches and real estate kit for free, so you can see for yourselves the strategies and techniques that network team members will use to develop their formula for success.
We can't track
cutting-edge education, access to highly discounted property deals, and funding partners all lies within the network. So if you're interested in creating your own real estate enterprise and accessing a powerful network, then you need to text Denver to 474747 now to get your free kit. Text Denver to 474747 now, and you'll also get free admission to an introductory class and get a free smartwatch and guide to investing just for attending. Text Denver to 474747.
I don't mean text help to so-and-so and so-and-so. I want to own the so-and-so and so-and-so. If we can. Listen, I want Fix It and Plumline live always. If you didn't do it today, that's fine. Try to keep that in mind. And there's some others we can rotate with those. What else would you say, Mark, is really important? What's it 24 for live lives? Fix It, and Plumline for live lives. Who else would you say? I mean, we really
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
We'll let you know.
My reason why is
I think Rockies.
My reason why is to inspire others.
And now and then, but mostly
One
now.
reason
Ideal. Why is Rockies 60?
to get an athletic scholarship.
Because they insist on it. They
2% of all
insist
high
on
school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. And most of those are worth far less than the
You know,
college tuition.
Become the banker. I don't mind that being 60 because there's a lot to say.
Yeah, let's do it.
We might, on there,
I don't mind 30s or 60s, but I like every once in a while 60s.
you might even want to can them too, man. Then you can really get to the nitty-gritty. And we can always say seminars are coming up.
There you go. Who's there?
Because there always will be.
They're coming up on Thursday and Saturday of this month.
Are they always on Thursdays and Saturdays?
Right.
That might be the best way, because then we could really get all of
Denver
them
Stock
going.
Station 630 KHOW.
I am Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, and that person who was listening says, Tom, do you and can you please give me that information? ApprovalReverse.com it is. And the phone number, just very quickly, let me get that out of the way. So whenever I mention people and I don't give out all the information, 303-771-3528. Now, we're going to talk about annuities. And, hey, Gary, tell me what you think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Tom, I'm very well informed about annuities. I have thoroughly read 40-page annuity contracts.
Thank you.
I agree with you that most of them are not appropriate. But may I just describe one?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
And then I'm going to Gary. Then I'm going to ask you some opinions on stuff I want. Go ahead.
All right. This annuity contract is with AIG. And basically, it's you have to commit to a 7-year period, and the early surrender charges are outrageous. So first of all, I want to tell you that's not an issue for me.
Okay.
I have no problem not being able to liquidate for 7 years.
But liquidity is something I want people to know as we talk. Keep in mind when we're talking, Gary, that people are listening and they're thinking, "Wow, I want to know more." So go ahead. So there's a 7-year period. What else?
Yeah, basically, if you withdraw before the 7-year period, you pay outrageous fees.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
So that's not a problem for me. It will be invested for 7 years.
Okay.
The way it works is, let's say I invest $100,000.
Okay.
Each year, from on the anniversary of each year, they look at the S&P 500, and if the S&P 500 has gone up a certain percentage, the maximum your investment can go up is 6.6%. So if the S&P goes up 10%, you're only going to be credited 6%.
Okay.
Now
but hold on. I want to ask you something, though, Gary. I'm asking now. Let's say the S&P goes to 9%. Does your annuity follow the S&P, or is it below the S&P?
If the S&P exceeds 6.6%, you receive 6.6%.
But if it's just, let's say it's 5%, do you get 5%?
Yes.
Okay.
But you cannot go above.
I get it.
6%.
It follows the S&P up to 6.6.
Right. And if the S&P is below 0, if it's negative, you don't lose a nickel.
But it does go down, though. It will go down. If the S&P goes from 6.6 or from 9 to 3, does your investment go to 3, or does it stay up higher?
It's on a year-by-year basis.
Okay, got you. Adjusted yearly. I got it. Keep going.
Okay, so basically, the advantages are, and the reason why I'm pretty sure I'm going to invest in this is 6.6% is an acceptable rate of return for me.
Well, if it goes there, that's not a
right. And if it's less, then it'll be less. But I'll never lose money. I'll never lose principal.
Okay, and it's 7 years, and you accept that. What else?
And the reason why I view this, although it's tied to a stock index, I view this as a more or less comparable to a bond investment.
I got you.
Right now, if you invest in a bond...
Does it have a life insurance component?
No.
Most annuities do, I thought.
Right. These are the new products that have just been rolled out in the last year.
Give me a hand grenade. Does it have a hand grenade, I meant. Does it have any front-end fees? Like when you invest 100, is 100 earning you interest?
Yes, and the fees are basically accounted for. They adjust the maximum increase each year. So in this case, 6.6. That's been adjusted. They determine that rate.
So the following year, could they say the max is 4.5?
No, it's locked in at 6.6 for 7 years. And there's only a one-time fee, and I don't pay that. The broker who sells me that, there's a one-time fee. So basically, I receive a maximum of 6.6.
Okay, now hold on 1 second.
Years.
Joe, are there any questions for him? Just ask questions about this particular product. Anything?
Say, Gary, you say that you have a 7-year surrender period. Am I correct?
Yes.
On that annuity?
With outrageous fees, so he wouldn't consider it.
So exactly, what is do you have any other riders? Like maybe a long-term care riders and things like that?
No.
Okay.
No long-term riders.
It sounds to me like a CD.
It is, yeah.
It's a CD that fluctuates.
That's right, but you can't find a CD to pay.
No, I know,
6%.
but it sounds like a CD. It really does. And if there's an emergency, can you take up to 10% out a year?
You'll be penalized for early withdrawals before the 7%.
And of course,
7 years.
and of course, the earnings are tax deferred, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want you to compare it to this. And Gary, I'm depending on you to tell me what you don't like about this one. This one, Gary, is the one that Joe's talking about. Joe, is there a name for the one you're marketing?
It is. It's what they call an equity indexed annuity.
Have you ever heard of an equity indexed annuity, Gary?
Yes. In fact, the one that I'm investing in would technically be called an equity indexed annuity.
Now, the way Joe's work, the equity indexed annuity, the way it works, and by the way, I want everyone listening to know I'm not recommending any product. I'm asking you to check it out with me, but I do trust Joe, and he says this one, if you invested that same $100,000, how long is it for, Joe? Is it 7 years?
No, you can actually have between 10 years. It's a 10-year surrender.
It is a
10-year. Yes.
And does it have hefty fees for taking it out?
Most annuities do have hefty fees.
So it's 10 years.
10 years.
Okay, and it pays what % based on the S&P?
It's the same as what Gary's talking about.
No, but it's not the same because you said it discounts the S&P. It doesn't pay par with S&P.
No, it's actually a ceiling or a cap of 6%.
Okay, a cap of 6.
Right.
But it follows the S&P up to 6.
That is right.
I got you.
That is right.
Now, but it follows it. If the S&P is at 4, you earn 4.
That is right.
Okay, gotcha.
But you will never lose any principal, Tom, just like Gary's saying.
Okay.
However, though, can I just make one point?
Now listen to this one, Gary. The one that Joe's talking about ratchets up. Explain that.
Right. So basically, when the S&P 500 grows to maybe, let's say, 10%, Gary, you're going to get 6%. When the S&P 500 drops, you see, you will stay lateral. You're not going to drop with it.
That seems to be the only difference. The 10-year and then the ratchet. Once it goes to 6, it doesn't go below. And that's the way they do it. What does that sound like to you? Does it have a life insurance rider, guys?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
It's long-term care and life insurance.
Long-term care and life insurance.
That is right.
And it's you'd say that the overhead's about 1% a year?
It is. It is. It's 1% per year.
Yeah.
For the rider.
What is your overhead, Gary, on that one that you're talking about? Let's just say you can get up to 6.6. About what of that are you giving in administration?
0.
Well, okay, because they're taking it out of the upside, you're saying.
Right. They determine when they come up with the 6.6, they've already built in the one-time commission to the advisor that sells me the policy.
So you're saying that over the life of this annuity for 7 years, if the S&P is over 6.6, you get 6.6, and there's no hit for administration or fees.
That's correct.
What were you going to say, Joe?
Gary, do you have an income rider with it?
No.
Okay. That's the reason why you don't have that 1% fee. Or annuity.
What's the 1% fee for? We'll talk about that coming up. I'm Tom Martino.
1% fee will actually give somebody 10 years.
But
after
this
10
sounds
years,
pretty good.
Oh, it sounds good. After 10 years, you're going to get an income for the rest of your life. Gary.
That's the only difference between this.
10 years you get income
for the rest of your life.
Basically, ours turns into
what?
It turns into a pension. So it's based off their age and how much they've accumulated. So,
well, let's say 100 grand, 10 years plus the income.
This is you. 66, Tom Martino. 100,000.
65.
Well, okay, look at this.
So you get a bonus off that, which we have to ask.
Yeah, just give me an idea.
If you have 10 years, your account is worth $145,000.
On the low end.
And this is what the S&P has. Okay, now, here, you can see guarantee, you can see what is there. Guarantee withdrawal payment.
But this is the income right here. It actually grows to close to 200.
What's the
right here, 12,000.
P3 portable protein.
Who am I doing?
With meat, cheese, and
Okay.
nuts.
It's a 30-second spot.
Perfect.
30-second spot.
Grab the more interesting way to get your protein.
Let's give you his number.
P3.
John Fuller, Fuller Law, he's a personal injury attorney, and trust me, if you are injured in an accident, even if you don't think it's serious, you need to at least consult an attorney to get your rights clarified. Don't ever just sit around and then wait, because something could show up and you'll be shocked. John Fuller never charges for initial consultations, for questions and answers. Call him. Doesn't charge, and then he just takes his percentage of what he collects. If you hire him, that's 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. 597-4500. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay.
So basically, you're going to, after 10 years, you're going to get $12,531 for a year. Now, if you wait till you're at another 10 years, your income will be $29,600 for life.
Mark has done the math with me on this.
Now, look at this. This is for the long-term care. If you need to go to an assisted living, nursing home, or whatever, you double the guarantee rate.
Better than death benefits.
The
only difference between his and ours. So you put $100 grand in, and you get $10,000 back in 10 years?
No, 45,000.
You don't get it back. You have to take it by the year. If you put it away,
when does he get $100 grand back?
to me,
that's what it owes.
If you're 45, I know.
Day one, he has over 100,000.
I know, but I don't care.
When did he get it all back, though?
Yeah, that's right.
When did he get 100,000 back in his pocket?
In 10, well, Mark, in 10 years plus another, you get 24 a year after that. No, 12 a year. Mark, you're never going to get it all back.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter what you earn if you don't get it. It doesn't matter if you said I had $1 million in there, but I can only take $12,000 a year.
No. You can gush it in 10 years, and you get 145,000.
So that's what I was asking. So in 10 years,
I get
you would make $45,000.
Right. That's what I would do. So can I take $10,000 and $100,000 and make 45 on it anywhere else?
Oh, God, yeah, of course. In 10 years? In 10 years? Let's just do it on a 3.8 CD for 10 years. Calculate that. What is that? How do we calculate that? It'd be way the fuck higher. It would triple.
You're missing it.
On the insurance side, I know that.
No. This is more so for long-term care. Hold on, Dad. This is more so for people that need the income.
People that want
replace the 401k.
They're afraid they're going to spend their fucking money.
These aren't the people that are going to have an extra $100,000 just laying around to invest in. These are the people's life.
Yeah, this is their retirement.
Right. No one's going to live on $12,000 a year.
No, you're right.
No, but it would subsidize their Social Security and their paid off house.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, you know.
No, I understand that. But what I want to make sure of is that that it is appropriate with people. Because, there are people, we had this discussion that I don't believe at 70 years old should become the banker. Right. That's my opinion. Now, it's an opinion. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm saying...
Yeah, and you're right. We got to sit down with them to be able to see what is their situation. You're absolutely
right. What are their goals?
Different. But I think the only difference between this and what Gary has is his will terminate at some point. If he has, let's even say he has $200,000 at 10 years, he's going to be taking that income out. Let's say over the next 10 years, it's $20,000 a year, and it's gone. This will go all the way to the rest of his life.
Until he dies.
That's the difference between this and that, is because there's a pension built into this. So I think our benefit is just to have people have a pension, which nobody has anymore.
No,
pensions are gone.
I understand annuities. My biggest issue is just the liquidity of them. Absolutely. It has really nothing else.
I agree.
And you said that's the
But
biggest
some of these things, like that one Larry was trying to sell me, to get my money back would take 10 years to get there, and then another 20 years to get my money back.
I know, you were like 96.
That's 30 years. But it's earning all of this. I don't care what it's earning if I can't get it.
That's right.
What difference does it make?
Totally.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
You got 10 years, you got 145,000.
What I get afraid of is all of a sudden, let's say you've got 300 grand or something in there, and all of a sudden we have a chance to do a 14% loan to someone that's crazy.
But we're in a totally different.
I know.
But you're right.
If you take 140,000, 45,000, divided by, I just want to do this, divided by the 12,000 a year.
It's like 3.5, 3.8.
So really, then you get more of your money if you live that 10 years, and then you live 3 years beyond that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, Mark. No. 12,000.
If you outlive the
7
year or 8.
That's 12 years to get that. To get the 145 back, you have to collect for 12 years to get it all, to get your earnings. Yeah. Or you take it in a lump sum.
Yeah, or you have a death benefit in case you die. But if you don't die, it goes for the rest of your life until the day you die.
I understand.
Yeah.
These are all legalized gambling. They're all legalized.
But you're right. There's a lot of CDs now at 3-1 and 3-8. Tons of them.
Really?
Yeah. I'm Martino. You know, annuities are gambling in a way because you have to bet you're going to live and you're going to get this. But I want to say this in a nutshell. All annuities have what in common? I want to say this. Tina, I will take your problem, I promise. Heather, I will take your problem. And Russ, I'll take your call right now because it's an on-air review, so go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I did some business with Simply Floors, and I was really, really happy with what they did.
So did you go to simplyfloorsinc.com and make your own appointment like I tell people to do, or did you call them? Or drop by?
I dropped by.
At 52nd and Ward, was it hard to find? I'm always curious about this. Now, what did you like? And this is a real honest-to-God call, and I love doing research. What did you like?
Well, the people they sent out were really good, nice, friendly, clean. They did a really nice job. They did it relatively quick. And we had a couple of problems, and they took care of the problems.
How did you find the pricing? How did you find the pricing?
Very fair. Very fair.
I'd like to know, because I say you're going to save routinely 20%, and then I say sometimes 30, 40% or more. So I didn't ask fair. Did it beat prices?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I'd say 30%.
Okay, that's wonderful, Russ. And I appreciate you taking the time to call me. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Listen, this is what I depend on. That's why when I'm talking to Joe here about annuities, I'm not trying to shove them down your throat. Mark just said, look, if I take $100 grand and put it in a CD and just make 3%, although I don't know of any paying 3% right now, Mark.
There's quite a few paying 3%.
Come on.
5 and 10-year deals.
Okay, but anyway, Joe's annuity is a 10-year surrender. So let's just say you have to put $100 grand away for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, you can take a lump sum of $145,000, or you get lifetime income of $12,000 a year. Now, that's not a lot of money, but then again, that's a lot to supplement Social Security. But can you do better on your own? But Joe says there's other benefits to it. And again, I am looking at all sides, so I invite you to call. This show is not edited. I don't say, we're not going to have that call go through. You can talk about anything. So, Joe, if I have $100 grand in this annuity, this equity indexed annuity, $100 grand, and I don't take it out for 10 years, you're saying as it ratchets up, I can get as much as 6%, and when it gets to 6%, that's the max I can make, it'll never go lower.
That is right.
Is it paying 6% now? What is it paying now?
Right now it's paying 6%.
Right
now.
No, I'm asking.
Because the S&P 500.
Oh, really? So if I opened one up right now, I would get 6%.
Well, you would get an immediate bonus of 10% of your money that you put in.
So if I put 100 in, I get
110,000 working today.
Then is it earning on 6% per annum?
No, because it's based off of when your inception is. So for people who maybe had a year ago and they were at a lower part.
No, I'm asking you right now, if I deposit money, what is it earning right now?
Okay. It's a 6% is the ceiling, Tom.
I know. What would I earn today? That's all I'm asking. Give me an idea.
So we need to look at the market here.
You said 6%, and I need to know what. Is it? It's not a big deal. I'm just curious. What is the S&P right now?
It's negative right now.
It's negative. So I would be earning nothing right now.
For this month.
For this month.
Right.
Is it adjusted monthly?
Yes, of course.
Or is it yearly?
Yes, a portion of it's monthly, a portion of it's annually, and then we have a portion. So your money's split up amongst 3 areas: annual, monthly, a fixed account. I say 4 areas because there's a little bit of a.
Okay, so my money is not earning. If the S&P goes up to 10%, has it ever been there?
Yeah, we've had.
Of course,
absolutely, and we've had clients have hit.
If the S&P is up there at 9. And I earn 6 then, but I'm not going to earn 6. Only part of my money is going to earn 6.
Whatever that portion is. Typically, we put about 40 to 50% in that annual fund.
And the rest of it's going to earn based on what?
Monthly. Maybe another 40% in the monthly fund, where that caps at 1.85 each month. So if you look at the whole year,
so we really can't depend. We can't say that there's a 6%. Because to get up to 6%, all $100,000, you can't do it.
because part of it's capped at 1.5.
1.85 a month. If you take that over the whole
month.
year, that's
All
almost 24% a year.
See, this is what bothers me about annuities. I'm not talking about you guys. What bothers me is they're so damn hard to decipher. So I want to know, what does it make? And then, what is the benefit? Now, what I was saying is, unlike a lot of annuities, this one that guy called about, Gary, at the end you get income. No, you don't get income. You just get your money. On this one, you get income, plus you get life insurance, plus you get long-term insurance, and that's what I want to talk about coming up. We talked about the disadvantages. I want to talk about some of the advantages. And then I urge you to call on any questions you have about annuities or anything like it. Okay? This show is about you learning and doing the best for you. We got more coming up.
But guys, so now I'm learning, if I put 100,000 in, I'm not earning 6% on 100. I'm earning 6% on 50 of it.
Right, whatever the portion. We didn't get a chance to tell the whole thing. This is the
I know, but what portion is earning?
So in this case, we got 40% to what we call.
I think it's supposed to put it up with the PRIA healthcare.
30% to the annual, and 40% to the monthly. This is what he's showing on this.
Now, does the monthly usually outpace?
It does. Absolutely.
But what the highest is still 6%?
No, I put it higher than
that's just for
list. The case is not the way. The case number, like the guy said,
the highest for the monthly is 1.85. So when you average it over the whole year, that's where he's saying you get 6, but nothing on the 6.
I want to know this. On my 100,000 blended, what am I making max? What's the max I can
max you can make?
See,
yeah, you can make a lot. Yeah,
I mean, there should be a way to know that.
Absolutely. You can make close to 22% on just a monthly.
So
if you cap that every month, which is insane. I wouldn't sell that. But that's the highest.
What you're saying is capped at 6.
No,
just forget that.
I don't really remember
the monthly's
why.
capped at 1.8%.
1.85
a verbal
so if the
with
S&P 500 grows at
came out, pounded on his car.
every single month, you take that times 12, Tom, you're going to get double-digit returns.
Well, what's the point where he'll never get that? But
right.
If it did, will I get every bit of it?
Absolutely. Every bit of it.
Is it right here in that shopping center?
Has it ever done
kind of by Home Depot?
No. On average, we hit 11 to 12%.
That's what our clients
couple years
So
ago.
they just started like in
so this
August.
part is
the monthly.
So here's one of the reviews. The owner put up one of the good reviews on it. Look at this
So
here.
if it grew
Go
to
to
6% on that
put on there, go to,
he came
this has to be the worst website.
I know.
He said 6.6. Yeah.
And you guys said, no, ours is 6%.
That's
He
combined.
does. If you average it out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay.
That's the average.
1.85 is monthly?
Yeah.
I have a lady holding who said she heard from the president of Centeno Schultz, Eric Spear. They want her to sign an affidavit for a class action suit that we're involved with. She didn't know if it was legit.
I don't
And
know if
I
it
just
is
wanted
really.
to double check
Let's
with you.
ask Centeno.
Eric Spear is definitely legit. I Googled his number.
Well,
He's
let's
the
find-
president of the company.
Of what company?
Centeno Schultz.
Well, let's call Centeno and find out what this is all about.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to know about it. If they're doing class action, I do want to be part of it. Okay, what else?
So then this is what we got, the fixed account, which is just 1.5. So we just put 10%
A year?
there. Yeah, just a year.
Just
the
an
whole
interest rate.
1.5 for the whole
per
year.
year.
And that's why we put 10%
But we need
there.
to go up there.
And then this is called.
Do I get to shuffle this around?
Yeah,
that's
once a
what
year.
he
We can
did.
shuffle it and reallocate.
So you guys can allocate.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
Those
those are all the choices right here.
And then this 20%.
This is locked into a 2 year, so this is the only part we can't change every year. It's called the Barclays,
But
and
what
this is
is
kind
it-
of like
what
a
is it
stretch
based
again. It's based on what we call like the Trailblazer. It's a certain index topped up like the 5 top. It's a
high
company.
risk?
It's higher risk.
It's higher risk.
But again, the lowest you can get is 0.
Am I going to have a spot coming up? Good.
Okay.
So this is the owner.
Not until the next 15, right? Okay.
No worries. You can.
So I got that one about the car gift. So this is the owner.
That's pretty good. I mean,
He puts
we
review,
have a
great
I know, we
location,
just
got a good deal on the Rolex. That's the owner.
That's right. Oh, that's
We're
gold.
going to stay at
It's golden. It's golden, Jerry.
Because the income factor
Right.
is 3.5,
That's funny.
and that's it.
Right. I got to look at his. He's got 23 Google reviews.
Right, but see, apparently he thinks the guy put a whole bunch of his relatives and friends and stuff put on there.
4%.
Like say the owner.
Both in almost mint condition. Nothing that a little polish job wouldn't fix. How do you say that in the same sentence?
This is based off the last 10 years.
Right.
I know, but he doesn't know that. The other guy's probably showing just a 6.6.
Your diction is wrong.
For the rest of the next 10 years. This is based on
More
actual
morale,
figures.
no ethics. I rather do
I
that.
say, I know. I mean, I'm going to chance to talk to Gary again.
Jake of all trades. Travis Colton. Kit Ridge.
That's the guy
D.O.B.
who originally put the review.
Was potentially involved in pawn shop robbery.
Right.
God, it's so weird. The most cleanest shop I've ever been in. Who buys a camera, though? That's the one thing I'm like.
Well, see, he just started in August, so we think he's just trying to build up his inventory. So that's why he bought the camera there and stuff. And he said he got a good price. You know, he was happy with the price.
Now, wait a minute. Is this the same guy, Jason?
No. He's put a review. He just says anybody who puts in a bad review, he says is a friend of Travis Colton, whatever that guy.
Okay, so these people, he's basically saying, hey, this guy's never even been in.
No, he's basically saying he's just a friend of, well, he doesn't say that, but he just said he's a friend of this bad dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
What are you saying?
I don't understand. Who is this?
That's another guy who put a bad review in there.
Yeah, but how do we know that our caller didn't do this? And that's why they're responding to this. That is a friend of this guy.
But he's just doing that to all of them and stuff. He says it's not.
No. Oh no, yeah, but he did have his friends call in. Let's face it.
Yes, he
had
probably
them
did have some of
bombarded.
them.
He had his friends bombarded.
Are you going to do something with a Priya Health?
Don't do that.
A Priya Health, Tom, today?
A Priya Health?
A Priya Health? Are you going to do something?
Sorry, maybe not. I'm sorry. It sounded like it was. Yeah, sorry.
Now, let me just get this here.
Daphne said you were going to do something with a Priya Health.
No, okay. She wanted me to do a follow-up on a customer service number, because they were having so many troubles. But I'm not going to do it right now. We're too busy.
Cool.
But we're going to do it.
Very good.
We're going to give out a number and say that, and they did do it as a result of all the complaints that came in here. So it's good follow-up. You know, it's a good follow-up.
Oh, Priya, that was the oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just add one more thing to this while you're working there?
Sure.
The only thing, based off our numbers,
entire
we're off the
store
last
maybe
10
20
years,
items.
so we have 2008 in there. We're not saying that you're going to 6% going forward.
This is
We're
gold.
actually showing
We
current
need to go in and
that
see.
have
I know.
2008 and then have 2011. So whatever
So
Gary might
you're right.
go
So
in,
he probably had some of
he's
his
showing
friends go in.
6.6 for every year. I mean, that's not realistic.
How does he
Not
know?
go in, right?
But he doesn't even know that, though. He just put it, when he gets
That's
back
the
to
cap.
the
This is a cap.
Yeah,
Because they
but
voted
he
it
said
open
yes,
for a
but he says
If
They're
he's
looking
six,
up those
nominating,
names.
so
I know
but
him.
he-
The guy is
if he
very
gets 5%,
legit.
he
So
gets
I told him to go to
5%.
Jefferson
So if he
County
goes 0%,
and
he
file
gets
a
0.
complaint.
Right.
So that's the same thing with us.
Jefferson County.
but yours to cap out at 6.
FHA.
Well, we'd have to
Well,
average.
do you have a cap anyway? What is your cap?
Well, that's what we're saying. The caps, it's spread amongst those 3 buckets.
What is the cap total?
1.8 per month,
There's no cap total.
4.5 per year.
So there is no cap because you can make 1.5 a month.
Yeah.
So that,
Right.
That'd be 22% on that section,
Yeah,
which
but
doesn't
that
say.
would be-
We'd never say that,
Right.
but that's what
But-
the cap is for that.
But the cap 4.5 is on the most of the money.
Which is just whatever, which put 30% there. Yeah, so 40% was the most.
Joe, why, to me,
Yeah.
just why don't you have a number of different ones?
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. This is brought to you by this hour, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. We love having good people to recommend, and we'll continue to do that. We also love to talk about issues, and if you have real estate right now you're trying to sell, oh my goodness, it's slowing down, and it's so minor, but you know what it means? People say, wait a minute, maybe I'll wait on this, or maybe I'll wait on that. It's called the ripple effect, and it's what I call perceptionomics, and it's the first sign of a recession. That's how it starts. Now, you don't say, oh, Tom, you're the one starting it, because you're talking about it, and then I'm not that powerful, but I will say this. It's happening. You heard me. It's happening, okay? We're going to see major corrections in the real estate market. You're going to see things happening in the stock market, and it's not going to be stable. and we're going to see an adjustment. And why we're blinded to it, I don't know. It happens in cycles, and it's a natural cycle. Sometimes it happens over a shorter period of time than others. But if you look historically, there are always periods of inflation and periods of recession. If you manage the economy correctly, you don't have the big highs and the big lows. But right now we had a big high, mostly artificial, and we're going to have a terrible low. Now, I don't think it'll be as bad or as devastating as the recession we saw years, what was that, the
2001, 2008?
Was that 2008?
Yep.
Yeah, and 2009, yeah, those were terrible.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Joe Chiano, you hear here, and Joe says, if you have guaranteed investments, people who had his investment become the banker, they didn't suffer from the recession. And by the way, as I've said, everyone on this show, everyone, has something to sell. Now, that doesn't mean a bad thing. That means that's what it's all about. And I encourage you to call me about any product or service here on the air. Now, Genesis, I said, this hour brought to you by Genesis. Why? Because I need to recommend good home builders or home improvement contractors because there's so much scum out there. Just like when I do stem cell therapy, you have to know where to go because there's so much danger out there, especially with putting money down and not getting work done with home improvements. That's what I love about Mark Szymanski. He's honest, he's ethical. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. He's very busy, so you wait and you get what you pay for: beautiful, great value and honesty and quality. Genesis, 303-679-8509, 679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Let's go to the phones, and then if you have questions about annuities or about life insurance, we're going to be covering some very basics. But here's everyone's goal, really. Everyone's goal, no matter what you're doing to invest, is to even out your money so you have money in older, later years. That should be your goal. Even out the flow of cash. If you have money now you can put away for later, you should do it. Now, some people are just treading water trying to get enough for today. So they say, how the hell can I look forward to tomorrow? And really, there is no answer to that. First, you don't have debt. You got to reduce your debt. Don't get into debt. And you may think that's easier said than done, but it's not. Most people in debt, it's not because of groceries and rent. It's because of overbuying cable bills and luxuries that you can afford. I'm not that you can't afford. I'm not saying normal cable is bad. I'm talking about people due to excess, and they have a lot of crap, and they use credit cards as an extra income, and they get into debt. So first, you have to curb debt, meaning curbing desires. Buy what's realistic. Save for little extras. Once you curb your debt, you have to increase income. No matter what you do, look for ways to increase your income. If you're working for someone, maybe you do something on the side. Try to increase income along with reducing debt, and then look forward to the future. Heather, you have a problem with an apartment complex. Let's talk about it.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Heather, and thank you for contacting us. What is going on with your apartment complex?
Well, it was in an apartment complex. It was I was renting the downstairs area of the house.
Okay. Now, this was one home, or was it an apartment house, or was
it was one home? One
home, renting downstairs, like the first floor?
Yes.
When we say that, are we talking the basement level or the main level?
Yes, the basement level.
Okay, basement. Gotcha. Yeah.
And I had moved there after the situation. It was kind of the same thing. Like,
did you have a private entrance?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the problem?
Well, I had moved out of there because I had a gas leak. And I
Did you break your lease?
Yes, and they attempted to evict me, but guess what? I won, Tom.
Oh, good. How long was your lease?
It was a year.
And how long did you stay?
A year, but I was a month to month.
Oh, so you stayed after, so you fulfilled your lease, and then you left after that. How many months after your lease?
About 2, but I stopped paying because there was...
when did you stop paying?
3 months.
Okay, what I mean is this. While you were under your lease, did you pay or did you stop?
I paid, but until the last 3 months that I was there.
Okay, and so the last 3 months you were there, you stopped paying because why?
Atmos Energy said there was a fifth gas leak, and it was...
But you still stayed there.
Yeah, I was pregnant before I even had my kid.
Well, this is pretty dangerous. I am shocked that you won, because in order to withhold rent, it's usually unlivable, or you use the money to make repairs or to fix things. So it's very odd. When you say you won, what does that mean? They tried to evict you because you were not paying?
Yep.
And how did you win?
Because I proved that there was negligence in the house.
Okay, good. And so the judge said you did not owe the rent?
Nope.
But did you still have to leave?
Yeah.
Well, then you were evicted.
But it's not on my record.
No, that's good. You had to leave, but that landlord could not come after you for the 3 months past.
Right.
Did the judge actually rule that?
Yes.
Really? The judge said no,
yes.
No judgment, and then, but granted, but technically granted the eviction or not?
Yeah, no, he didn't grant the eviction. He said it wasn't on my record, and if I wanted to pursue it personally, I could.
But did he say you had to move, the judge?
Yes, but that's because it was still unlivable.
Okay. So anyway, what's going on now? How can we help you?
Well, I was just wondering, Tom, since you helped me years back with my mom's situation when she died, and Happy New Year to you, by the way.
Oh, I remember your mom dying. You were so devastated when you called us.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to hear from you. What's going on now, Heather? What can we help you with?
Well, because I just wanted to know if I was able to, like, aren't they under obligation, like a lease? When you rent from somewhere, if you're under, oath to pay rent, it would be the same thing as opposed to, are they supposed to be upholding something?
What is this all about? I mean, I don't know what you're even calling about. So far, what I hear is this. You rented a basement from a landlord, and it developed a gas leak. You refused to pay rent after that leak, and he tried to come after you for the unpaid rent. The judge did not grant a judgment for the unpaid rent, but did say that you had to move, but there was no technical eviction. So far, do I have it right?
Yes.
So now, where do we stand? What is going on now? What do you need now, Heather?
Well, I was wondering if there's something I could go after them for because of the gas leak. I was there living with that medical...
if you had, Heather, if you had damages and the landlord was negligent, yes, you can go after the landlord. But I'm not sure what the court order said. I'm not sure if that was full and final settlement, the fact that you don't have to pay and just leave. I'm not sure. But let's just say you're positive you won this, because there was no judgment entered for the 3 months rent. And this landlord is not trying to collect from you, right?
Right, but I have medical problems now that they're not aware of because I lived there with the gas leaks for
I understand.
So long.
When you say you have medical problems they're not aware of, who's not aware of?
Anybody.
Well, Heather, how do you know then you have medical problems if no one's aware of them?
Well, because I went to the emergency room, but I'm saying legally.
Well, Heather, you don't know if you... Heather, the truth is, if you were exposed to a gas leak, usually there's no long-term effect, usually, okay? Now, did you say you were pregnant?
Yes.
Did you have the baby?
Yeah.
Is the baby healthy?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And you had the baby while you were pregnant, you were living there?
Correct.
Okay. So what are you trying to make a case for? What is wrong with you right now? You said you had health problems. Do you have a diagnosis from a doctor saying you are sick and it's chronic and it's permanent and it's a disability due to the 3 months you lived with a gas leak?
Yes, from blood clots.
Heather, let me see the letter from the doctor saying that the 3 months you spent living with a gas leak caused this debilitating condition that is permanent Okay, because really, Heather, you think this is a walk in the park. It's not going to be. This guy's not just going to lay down and have you collect thousands of dollars. I mean, you have to prove it. How do you prove it? You have to, and we're not talking about that you're not perfect. We're talking about, honest to God, a real disability or permanent injury, not temporary, permanent injury as a result of living with a gas leak for 3 months. Now, I'm talking to you like a friend. This landlord is most likely not listening. I'm asking you, do you really believe you have a permanent condition as a result of living there 3 months with a gas leak?
Yes.
Then prove it. Let me hear a doctor say that. We'll even call the doctor if you give permission to the doctor. You have a doctor who told you, Heather, you have XYZ, and it's because you live there. In other words, if we went to a doctor and did not tell them you were exposed to anything, and they did a physical checkup on you, they would find a disability or a permanent condition right now. What would it be called?
PTSD, but also blood clotting, thrombosis, blood clots.
Okay, and they would say it was caused by living in a gas leak.
By exposure.
Well, deep vein thrombosis is not caused by exposure to gas. And what else do you have?
That was it. I just wanted to ask.
But did you have well, don't take my word for it. I'm just saying that if you were my friend, or my sister, I'd say don't even waste your time. And do you have COPD, you said?
No, PTSD, but you are my friend. I've talked to a bunch of...
PTSD, post-traumatic stress. Well, okay. Heather, listen, you know what? I'm going to be straight with you. You sound like you're gold digging, okay? You're not going to fight. Look, go to see a personal injury attorney. Go to see doctors. You're not... we're talking about a lost cause. Why don't I just be straight? I like you, Heather. I really do. It's a lost cause. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Jeez, man, you bring out the nuts. Insurance. I thought she said COPD too.
I heard PTSD and I couldn't believe it. I was like,
The rush hour drive, but conditions have improved quite a bit in town. Out on the eastern plains, though, I-70 remains closed from Air Park all the way out to Lyman due to blizzard conditions on the eastern plains.
You know, Mark, I do bring out the nuts. I mean, I do, but what do I do?
Hey, did that guy have his friends do his brake? The guy that the wheel fell off and everything?
I think he said he did.
Well, I got to tell you something. You know, I use 24 Fix-It. Phenomenal. Fix-It 24. Oh, Fix-It 24. I mean, I'm telling you something.
Fix-It 24/7.
I felt so secure calling them. I really did.
Did you sign a document for our insurance?
We know what they're doing because we've seen it.
No, they're not, guys.
You know,
if you're looking for straight, beautiful teeth, the natural way, it's called orthodontics, right? But orthodontics takes years, unless you go to the new orthodontics. The new orthodontics, an incredible system that uses a series of mouthpieces that you wear that gradually widen your palate and straighten your teeth. By the way, because they're doing it naturally, it cures TMJ and sleep apneas. Well, after your teeth are relatively straight, you use Invisalign braces to do the finishing touches. No extractions, no surgeries. Guess what? The entire process for adults, 2 years to straight, beautiful teeth. And here's the best news. It's a fraction of the cost of cosmetic dentistry. It's a fraction of the cost of regular orthodontics. We're talking only a few $1,000 for the entire thing. The new orthodontics, 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100. The new orthodontics, 303-690-0100.
I should have had
Pretty good at that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I like that one if you do. Now, if we're getting too many, what I want to do is I want you to take the ones that have bad audio quality. There are some in there that have that tinniness that were recorded with the old logger or something. Okay. And then I'm going to leave it to you, but don't just wholesale get rid of them. Get rid of them as we get more in.
I like her. I mean, she was great.
Who's that, Mark?
This salesperson at McDonald's.
Oh, Suzanne?
Yeah, for that other deal. I don't think she's actually reading what I'm emailing. So whatever.
I love.
You probably need to talk to her directly.
I love my sponsors. That's why it all works. Because I believe in them. That's why I give them hell, and I give you hell. It's only because.
Well, that's okay.
I'm going to tell you why. I have to be able to just defend the shit out of you and preach.
Right.
Right.
No, I mean, I want you to.
I'm not feeling the love of this right now.
I think it's, I mean, yeah, and I think it's.
I want to keep. I would like to stay and become a banker.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
I think for what we need to say is that people see the comment and see us as Facebook. It's not going to be a one-fit-all for everybody. And honestly, we do have different products. We do have different products.
I would love a fixed product that relies on something. I don't want this blended shit. I mean, are there fixed?
Oh yeah, there are fixed products, but they're offering like maybe 2 or 3% return.
I know, but you know what? A solid 2 or 3% tax free is pretty damn good.
It's not tax free.
No, it's tax
Well, tax deferred.
But I think it's. I look at that as almost tax free in my opinion.
Oh, I'm talking about. Yeah, no, I mean, we have access to.
But I think it's just something with
Sam's Club, they didn't get glasses.
For what though? I mean, what's his damages?
He's losing $220 a day for the.
See, we have to have those products done because we have people when they become the banker that need to roll over their 401ks.
What is it? Email?
Yeah, that's the.
Send it to me. I want to
primarily the only product.
That's interesting. I mean, it all comes down to what his damage is.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, because you didn't get him in time.
There's no damage there. What does that mean?
Because.
Like if he was going to go to a concert, couldn't see without the glasses. They were promised in writing by a certain date, and they weren't there, and he had to cancel the concert because he couldn't see. The concert price of the tickets could be a damage.
Okay, what he's saying is the $220 a day that he's losing from work because he needed the glasses.
That could be there, but I don't know how Sam's works as far as a guarantee. Anytime I bought glasses from them, they tell me between 3 and 15 days or whatever.
And I see it's not a brand
It's a curious question. If he has true damages and they actually have a guarantee on delivery.
People go crazy. I looking for damages and bad guys. I'm Tom Martino. You know, there's a common phenomenon in this show, and I don't want to discourage you from calling. I want you to call. But it's called hunting for gold and looking for the bad guy. When you have a problem, you hunt for damages, you hunt for the gold, and then you look for the bad guy. Sometimes you look for the bad guy first. And you look for the baddest guy with the biggest pocketbook. And it's just a phenomenon. Now, I like this girl. I helped Heather. She was a young woman living with her mom. Her mom died. She needed help transitioning. I don't want to get into details on how I helped, but I like her. But now she rented a place, was exposed to a gas leak for a few months, got out. She was encouraged because the landlord did not get a judgment against her. The judge ruled in her favor that it was unlivable. Now she wants to know, can I get damages? I am disabled as a result. And she's not disabled. Come on. I mean, did you hear her trying to make the case? What was going through your head? Now, I know this woman. She's a nice girl. And I think it's more naivety than anything. What did you think, Mark, when you heard? Did you think gold digging, looking for an, I mean, come on, you did, right?
Naive.
What did you think?
I think she
Suzanne,
probably thinks something happened.
Didn't it sound like a desperate attempt?
I thought it sounded ridiculous,
yeah,
Tom.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's keep going. 303-713-TALK. Tina, what's going on with you? And if you have any questions about Become the Banker, I want to know, when is the next seminar, Joe, by the way?
This coming Thursday.
Where?
In Centennial at 6:30, and then we have another one on Saturday morning in North Glen at 10:30 in the morning.
And to find out more, folks, it's becomethebanker.info. Right? Isn't that a good one?
And
you can
or
see
they
my
can call 303-779-6600.
Okay, so anyway, what's going on, Tina, with the dealership? What are we talking about? Was it a newer used car or service?
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hi.
Yes, it was a used car from a family-owned lot.
And what's the name of the lot, if you don't mind?
Yeah, it's Boost Motors up in Longmont.
Oh my, what did guys, do you remember what I said about Longmont? Per capita. I believe Longmont has the worst car deals per capita, or rip-offs per capita, because it's such a small community, and this is a radio show that goes to several states. It goes all over the Front Range, and this radio show, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and we get more problems with used cars out of Longmont, and it's not always from the same dealer. But for some reason, I have to believe that nasty used car dealers gathered up there and said, let's make this the butthole for car deals. Okay, so what's going on? A used car, Booth Motors, and sum up the problem. What is it?
Basically, I bought this car for my husband. We were sharing one. He needed his own car. I bought this car.
How much?
And I left the lot signing a as-is, which I regret.
Well, of course, because that's exactly what it means. What year, what make? Tell me about the car, quickly.
Yeah, it's a 2011 Dodge Charger with a 5.7 Hemi RT.
This is for his pants more than it is for work. So, tell me how many miles on it?
77,000 miles.
Not terrible. So what's the problem?
Well, we find out 2 weeks ago that the engine has a crack in it.
Wait a minute.
The car was misfiring, and
a crack in the block or the head?
In the bottom of the engine.
The block. Not that matters. Well, if the head's in good shape, I don't know. Once you do all that, oh my God! So we're talking. What did they say to fix this? 12 grand?
9,000.
9. I'm not that far off. Okay.
And that's on top of the 3,000 I already put into it with a dozen other issues.
Well, what are the other issues?
Well, when I left the lot, we bought it during the day, so we're driving it that first night that we got it. We realized the headlights point down towards the ground, not out towards the road.
It wasn't in a wreck, was it? Was it in a wreck?
It was in 2, but I didn't find that out.
Wait a minute. Now, come on now. These people can't. Now, listen, as is has its limits. I mean, was this a salvaged car?
I believe that they have a history of buying them at auction and flipping them, but not doing repairs to them. They bought this car. It came from New York. When we were at the dealership, they said, look, we ran the Carfax. It's only been in one minor accident, no major damage.
Did you look at the Carfax? Did you run a Carfax?
Not until I got home.
Oh, man, come on.
So now 2 major accidents.
But wait a minute now. You know what? I would take, how much did you pay, did you say?
I paid $18 for the car.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
And so now the value of this car is almost up to $32,000.
Not the value, the damages.
Well, what I put into it.
Wait a minute. How much have you actually put into it? How do you get to 32 grand? You got 18.
18.
Plus 3.
Yeah, plus the 2 grand down.
Well, that's part of the 18. I mean, that's part of the purchase price.
Well, I think the total purchase price was around 20 grand.
Well, then say that then. So we're talking about 20 grand plus 3 plus 9.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, I'm going to call up the dealership and see what they say.
What do they say?
After reading all the reviews, the general manager, hey, if you've got an issue, call me. I don't care how long it's been. So that's what I tried to do. Can't get a hold of the general manager.
Of course not. Tina, you're not going to get anything unless it's a miracle. I mean, we'll call and talk to him, but here's the deal, okay? A lot of these dealers don't care. Did you say there's a lot of bad reviews on Booth?
Yes. Yes.
Mark, what would you do? Would you blame yourself? Obviously you would.
Of course.
2 major wrecks and all these problems. Why didn't you get it checked out from a mechanic? Why didn't you?
Well, after I purchased it and we realized that there was a headlight
I'm
issue.
not talking about after. Really, everyone says that. Why didn't? No, Tina, I'm honest to God, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. You're not here so we can make fun. I'm not, honest. But I need to ask you.
No, I made the mistake of not taking it to a mechanic from the lot.
Hold on, you say you, and you bought it, and you did this, and you did this.
Yes.
Where was your husband in all of this?
Well, I bought the vehicle in my name because he wasn't working at the time. He needed it for a new job, and my credit's better.
Oh, man, you know what, Tina, sometimes the only way out is to just get it done and just keep it. But, man, I mean, once you put an engine in this, you'll have a decent car. It's not like it's going away.
No, we plan on keeping it. I mean, especially since, I borrowed the money to put the engine in, so I wanted to know if I had any right to go after them for the cost of the engine.
It depends on if, now listen, when I say this, right, every time I say it, people say yes. If they defrauded you. Okay, now, Tina.
Yes.
I'm going to ask specific questions about this area of fraud. Okay, so hang on. And I wanted to ask Kareem. Kareem, while I'm talking about used, was this a used or new RV? Kareem. Was this a new or used RV, Kareem?
Hi, Tom. It was a used RV.
And how many miles on it?
We bought it with 27,000 and change.
Okay. And are you calling with, the reason I'm saying this is because I want to know if my answer is going to apply to you too when I go back to Tina. Are you calling, what is your, if you had to sum up your problem in a sentence or two, what is it? And then I'll get the details, but I just want to know the brief problem.
Well, I paid cash for this vehicle last summer, July 20th, and I've yet to receive a clear title.
Okay. That's, actually, that might be an easy problem. So hold on, paid cash and no title. And that's July 20th. So I'll put that down. We got more coming up.
Who would buy a Dodge Challenger? You should know that's been hot rodded.
Seriously,
hell
I
out
was
of
to say,
it.
I mean, you always pick a car that's used to another dealer.
Well, I mean, no, but it's Dodge Challenger. I mean, I can look at it as a Charger. Is it Charger or Challenger?
Either way, I mean, I think it was a Challenger.
Was it a Challenger?
I think it was a Challenger. Either way, I mean, you know somebody who's driving a big car.
I had a Challenger and I had a Charger. Love those cars.
I like how the husband's out of work.
Yeah, right.
So they buy the Challenger
to have a,
because he's got to have the Challenger
I know.
to go to work.
They need a Challenger to get him back to work.
And his credit sucks, so she had to put it in her name.
They would have had a brand new Hyundai with 10,000. I'm telling you, I'm becoming an advocate of this. I mean, if you're in a bad way, do it the right way.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Now they got 30,000 in the Challenger.
Can you believe it?
Needs an engine.
77,000 miles on it. Why would you buy that?
I think a new Challenger is pretty fucking cheap, actually. How much is a brand new one?
No, I don't think they're cheap. I'll bet you it's 45 grand.
Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. Listen, you've heard of all the lying, cheating, rip-off stories we get about cars. You don't get them from Rocky's. We don't get complaints because they take care of people. Now, I'm not saying every vehicle is perfect, but they go through them and they buy good, clean, used cars, the best selection in Colorado. They have financing on the spot because they represent 40 different lenders that they can choose from, one right for you, and they have all kinds of down payment options. You really need to go there. Prices are clearly marked, and they're happy to talk to you about specifics. It's not a game there. It's just a great deal. Rocky's, 63rd and Federal. I've known Dave, the owner, for years and years and years, or the founder. They're open 9 to 6 on Saturdays and Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, 303-426-4646. That's 303-426-4646. You can also look at them at Rocky'sAutos.com. That's Rocky'sAutos.com. And that's 63rd and Federal.
Was it a Challenger or a Charger?
I don't know. Brand new is 27,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm staring at them for 30 grand all day long.
We don't know.
I think it was a Charger.
Yeah, she had the crack engine option.
The Challenger
bad
is
headlight
27,000 brand new.
Well, the headlight
It was 77,000 miles.
I know. A Challenger I think is better. I
You just
gotta
adjust the headlight.
Challenger's the real muscle one, where the Charger's.
Are you sure? No, isn't the Dodge Charger more expensive than the Challenger?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm staring. What does she have, a Charger or a Challenger?
We don't know.
She bought a Charger.
Oh, the Charger said, yeah.
Right? Isn't that what she said?
I thought, honestly, the Challenger.
They're about 50,000 of it.
Charger?
Yeah.
Well, the
Dodge
Hellcat,
Charger is the better one.
I didn't realize
It's the more,
not much. It's about the same. They're about the same.
but it's the more desirable one. The one you see around that's jacked up and all that is the Charger.
The Hellcat is the Challenger. The real fast
Oh,
one.
it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Charger.
I like the Challenger. The Challenger's a heck of a lot more than a Charger.
I had them both.
The Hellcat?
The Hellcat.
So the
Come
Chargers,
63 grand.
32 grand. So the Charger's 32, and then
27.
the Challenger's 27.
They're about
Either way, she got
For brand new.
For a brand new car.
and she's probably got
$8,000 off. I can't even believe that.
But it's a good work car.
But it didn't come with the options of the bad engine and the bad headlights.
Apparently it did. It's a great work car, though.
I wonder what her interest rate is.
Terrible work car. It's rear-wheel drive.
Listen, honey, I can't get a job until I get a new car.
Did you call the RV dealership, Suzanne? Did you call the RV? Did we call them? Let's, now that we know what it is, I mean, what the hell?
This should be a quick one. Do we have your phone number?
You want somebody to call, Suzanne? Can you?
If the answer is yes,
I'll go. You want to turn me over and stuff?
I definitely don't want to turn you over.
You want to toss my salad?
That's what he's saying.
That is like one of the most disgusting terms I've ever heard.
First time I heard that was on this HBO show called Oz.
No, I know.
The prison ones. Hey, get over here and toss my salad. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I look it up and I'm like,
I just...
Or, have you ever heard of Blumpkin? Blumpkin? Looked at it. Somebody told me that and I looked it up. I couldn't believe
putting
it.
crap in my mind that shouldn't be there.
I swear, I have a hard time believing it's even a real thing.
Right. Come on, Mark, don't say it online.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Well, let's put it this way. And that's incredible. It's not a popular show.
You will never in a million years catch one.
Okay, just don't.
Did you pull it up?
Spell that for me.
No.
Blump. B-L-U-M. B-L-U-M-P-K-I-N.
Oh, I got it.
Tell me you'll ever sleep again.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Well, trouble show, the only show of its kind. Let's talk. You know, Tina, listen, Tina, I just want to, say that I'm really not trying to give you a hard time, but these cars brand new are 27,000 base, and then you add, you could have a brand new one for what you're paying. But also, I want to say something else. And people might think I work for Hyundai, and I don't. But I want to say this. So many people call, like the woman the other day, she has a kid going to college, needs a reliable car for 4 years. She was looking at a little Subaru with 160,000 miles for $5,000, and she says, but I don't want payments, and I just want to pay $5,000. So in her mind, she's paying $5,000. And I said, no matter what, and our experts said, it's going to need a timing belt, and it will, no matter, even if it was done, it needs to be done again now, and then it's going to need a transmission. There's no way around it. So when you look at that, that would have given her over $100 a month payments if you amortize it. So you never beat the Reaper, never. If you have an older car with mileage, now in your case, it wasn't that old, and it didn't have a lot of miles, so yours was a different case. But those cars are treated like crap in general because they're muscled. Now, your husband, to get to work, you could have bought him for cash a brand new Hyundai with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty for around $12,000 if you get a leftover, and you can find them all day long. Brand spanking new, but it wouldn't have worked because he wouldn't have driven it. So this is where, in the beginning of the show, and this is not for you, Tina, so much as my listeners, when I say curb your desires get you, and I'm not talking about deviant desires, I'm talking about just our desires get us in trouble. When something is practical and good, we tend sometimes to shy away from it because we want a feeling, or we're trying to find that station in life, or we have a quest that goes far beyond transportation or clothing. We have this other thing. I'm going to give you an idea. An Hermes belt costs about $2,500. Okay, now the buckle costs about $1,500 to $1,800. You have women going out of their way to buy used ones, getting ripped off every day because they want that H on their belly when somebody looks at them, and they want that feeling. Now, they'll go and buy the knockoffs, and the knockoffs can be really expensive. Again,
A belt doesn't have to cost that, and people don't have to spend that, but they do. And and if you really think about it, that Hermes belt does not hold up anything. It's just for looks. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Let's talk about you. Here's what I would do. If you were defrauded, you have a case. But what is fraud? People say, well, Tom, they said as is. But as is doesn't mean they have a license to lie, cheat, and steal. So, if you could prove they did something to deflect or to cover up or to lie or mislead.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, there was a crack on the engine and they covered it up with paint. Or they intentionally lied to you and said this car is in great running condition. If they said that, but you have to prove it.
Yeah.
That's why I recommend people record things. Better yet, you get things in writing, and also better yet, you don't, even if it's as is, if they said perfect condition, say, well, then why don't you put that down? And if they won't, there's a problem. But even if they do, that still doesn't mean you're going to get anything, because these guys, you know, they don't care. They don't care about their reputation. They don't care if it's in writing. But here's the worst thing, is that you probably can't do anything to them legally. But so buy something from a good dealer and buy something newer, and don't try to beat the system. It doesn't work. You're going to pay for whatever something is worth. And if you pay cheaper, you're going to make it up in parts and labor.
Yep.
So in your case, when you called the dealer, they said nothing. Nothing at all. They wouldn't even call you back.
Well, no, I did talk to the salesman that sold us the car, and he just laughed and said, it's been 4 months. I said, you act like 4 months has been a year.
Okay. But
He's
you
like,
did have
I
an
don't
opportunity.
think we can do anything for you.
You did have an opportunity to check that car out before and after, even after. Why didn't you check it out after? I mean, not 4 months. I'm talking about right away. Why didn't you check it out?
Oh, I did take it in right away to the dealership.
And did they go through the whole car?
They didn't find the engine problem, but they found other problems.
Why didn't they find the engine problem?
Because I know
maybe it wasn't there.
In,
maybe it wasn't there. Tina, this bodes against you. It does not bode well. Because if you took that in and they're looking for trouble, they would have found a cracked engine block.
Yeah.
So is it possible your husband put his foot in it?
No, I really don't think he did.
Okay. I would, if it was me, but this is not me. If it was me and I thought I was cheated, I'd park that car, and I don't care what it did to my credit. When it comes to what I think is right and wrong, you're not getting a dime from me. But that's, you know, I'm not telling you to do that. That's what I would do.
Did he get the job? I'm curious.
Yes.
Well, that's good at least. Tina, I wish I had something else to tell you. Mark,
it's every week. It's 5 times a week. People need to get their cars checked out. There's nothing else to say about it. In fact, I hate to say it, I'm almost bored of these calls. They happen so often. You would think if they listened to this show even for 1 week, they would never buy a used car without getting it checked out. Ever. And how do you do this for 40 years and this still comes in every day?
And even when you get it checked out, that's not meaning you should do it. Because even if you check it out, it doesn't mean it's a good deal. But we're calling the RV dealer for Kareem. I'll tell you. Did you call Suzanne?
Well, I did, but see, here's the problem, Tom, that he hasn't had a chance to say.
Okay, Kareem,
they changed their DBA, and that's what is holding up this whole title.
Yeah, but
business.
If Kareem bought from who? Who'd you buy from, Kareem?
Intermountain Coach Leasing Incorporated.
Intermountain Coach
Leasing.
Now, when you say a DBA, who was the holding company, Suzanne? Do you know?
I don't. That's all I have, Tom, is they changed their DBA.
So now they're not Intermountain Coach Leasing. Who are they, Kareem?
I don't know.
Okay. But a DBA change should not affect this at all, unless it was in their old name. But see, a DBA is just a trade name affidavit. It doesn't mean it's the legal entity.
Is it the one on Platte Avenue in Colorado Springs?
Yes.
Okay, I'll call them.
Yeah, hold on.
I already did.
Yeah, but
and that's what they said, though?
Yeah, but
no,
that's not a good...
They can only reach the owner every few weeks by email, so he had to email the owner for me.
Every few weeks. Okay, I want to tell everyone, whatever the name of this place is, What is the name, Mark, that you looked up?
Well, it says Intermountain Coach. I mean, it's what it says. Welcome to Intermountain Coach Automotive Plaza.
If there's an owner, you can only reach every couple of weeks by email, and the people who work there have no authority, then this is a place you should avoid like the plague. Absolutely avoid. Without even knowing whether they're honest or dishonest or good or bad, automatically, if there is no one in authority who can make adjustments or changes or can make decisions without contacting the owner every couple of weeks by email, this is a company you avoid like the plague. Intermountain Coach Leasing, where is it, Mark? I want to warn people in the Springs for sure.
3204 East Platte Avenue, Colorado Springs. Maybe there's a GM. Maybe we're missing something. I don't know.
Well, Mark will give another call down there just in case, and we'll start probing.
Were they snotty on the phone?
No, very nice,
okay,
Mark.
303-713-TALK. And as far as Tina goes, again, I have no solution. And like Mark said, we ought to just say when we call screen, did you get the car checked? Although I don't want that to discourage people, because even if you didn't get it checked out, sometimes there is a hook that can get you your money back with emissions. Or maybe they lied to you or they covered something up and we can prove it. I don't want you to stop calling, but Mark is right. Sometimes it's just, we hear it so much, it gets old. Check out thoroughly used cars before you buy them. We have more coming up.
I wonder if they're giving them temps all the time. Would you ask them if they're at least giving them temps till now?
This is on.
Am I on? Okay, so what do I do? Nothing?
Hey, Rick, is there a GM somebody there I can talk to?
We have no air. We are having technical difficulties, so I thought I better talk rather than you having just blank space here. We don't know what's going on, but we're having... Yeah. Okay. Okay, but no matter what, I don't know if we're on the air or off the air, but we'll keep going, all right, and help people. Again, we're having technical difficulties. I don't even know if we should talk to Joe. But Joe, while we're on, we may as well. What the heck? Becomethebanker.info. Overfunding life insurance. Here are some of the questions I get. I was told that... Are we on the air, by the way, Grant? Do you know if we're on the air or not? Do you know? Is there a way you can tell? I'm sorry, folks. We're having some technical difficulties. And, this is live radio, so... Okay. All right, that's fine. Well, I can at least... I can still talk about the... I can give the block here, okay? I was supposed to do buy and build, buyandbuild.net. They're at 4800 Washington Street. They do below wholesale pricing on all kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, on countertop material. They have countertop material, and they don't come in like Art of Granite and do the whole deal. But they know people who can. But they do. This is mainly for contractors who want to go there, or you can go on your own. And they're great people, buyandbuild.net. And you can find, for example, light fixtures, lighting fixtures, and plumbing fixtures for about 1/10 of the cost. Let me give you an example. Vessel sinks for about $80 that sell $600 at some places. The big box stores can't touch their prices. I bought cabinets for my garage, Shaker line, top-end cabinets, the entire garage with granite workbench. And the only reason I did this is because the whole thing was like $2 grand. And at a big box store, the garage cabinets, the terrible cabinets, garage type, with a press board workbench, like over $14,000. So that's why I go to buyandbuild.net, 4800 Washington Street. Again, we're having technical difficulties, but we are on the air. I just want you to know. And then we'll get to your calls. Joe Chiano, Become the Banker. The one criticism I get, if any, I don't see anything wrong with it. And again, I say it's not for everyone, but really, it kind of is. And I'm not saying it's the best investment in the world. You can probably make more money doing other things, but you'll never have less risk. So you're investing money in your own life insurance policy. I'm hearing noise, guys. Is that all right? Are we still on the air? Just let me know if we're off the air. Anyway, you invest in a life insurance and you overfund it on purpose. These companies have been around 125 years. Now that, unlike all the other products, this is a fixed return guaranteed of what?
4%.
4%. The dividend is not guaranteed, but it's never really, has it ever gone below 1%?
No, actually, the companies that we represent, they have never missed paying a dividend for over 100 years.
So you got like 5% return, 4% guaranteed, and it's just a guaranteed return. If you did nothing else but did that, it's like a great CD.
Tax free.
And you get life insurance. So even if that's all you did, but you can do more with it because you can borrow from it instead of credit cards. So if I have this pile of cash that I've invested in myself, and it's growing tax-free, and I want to buy appliances, I can buy appliances with this money.
Absolutely.
For the house.
Absolutely.
I can do a home improvement project and then pay myself back.
What you would have lost to the banks with a credit card.
And if my credit card charges me 18%, if I pay myself 18%, the insurance company takes 4% of that. I literally have 14% going to be sheltered more.
Absolutely.
It goes to my cash value.
How good is that?
So I'm going to have the money I borrowed to use. I pay myself back. When I put the money back, I'm putting more money back to be grown tax-free. Okay, then I want to retire. I want to take a loan every month to supplement my Social Security. I can do that.
Absolutely.
And never pay tax on it.
Never pay.
Okay, so I want someone to shoot holes in it. And here's the one criticism I get. Life insurance is not a good investment. Everyone knows it. Well, hold on a second. If you're guaranteed 5%, 4% plus 1% dividend, who cares? I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. I don't care if you can make more money or it's not a good investment, as long as it makes that return, if that's all I'm counting on. Now, I'm not going to do it with every dime I have, but that's what I never understood, Joe. They invest in the life insurance business, right? They don't invest in the stock market?
Right, exactly.
So why do I care as long as I get my return?
You shouldn't.
Right.
You shouldn't.
But why do people say, well, it's not a good investment? First of all, why do people say that? Why does Dave Ramsey, and I like the guy, why does he say this is not a good deal?
You know, and I have to agree, Tom. Most life insurance policies are not a good deal.
So there are a lot of people misrepresenting this because
Absolutely.
they sell it for too high of a commission.
Yes.
And what else?
Yes, and
the carrying
death
cost
benefit.
Oh, a huge
death benefit. So the way that we do the Become the Banker
you discourage big death benefit.
Yeah, we lower the death benefit and we maximize cash.
Right.
We maximize living benefits tax free.
Okay. Now let's talk to Judy. Judy,
I talked to the Center Mountain Code.
All right, hold on. Are we still on the air, Grant? We're just having problems with our commercials. Well, a lot of people will love that. Okay. Now, Judy, what do you need to know, dear?
We're helping our daughter sell her car, and we just wanted to ask your expertise on the best and safest way to do this.
Okay, I want to say something. Okay, the way you sell a car is not as important as how you develop the leads. However, for example, Craigslist will get you a lot of leads, and most of them will be ripoffs. But there is no better service anywhere ever than Blinker. Mark just got through doing it. I put my cars on Blinker, and let me explain something. Blinker.com, it's a great app, and I'll tell you why. Cars.com is the most well-known because of its URL called cars.com. However, they don't have all the services associated like Blinker. There's nothing wrong with cars. There's nothing wrong with Trade-A-Plane, Trade-A-Car, whatever you call these. I use Trade-A-Plane, by the way, and then Trade-A-Car, Car Trader it's called, right? Okay, now, Mark, what you love and what I love about Blinker is that they provide financing for the buyer, and it doesn't affect you, Judy.
Okay.
And they take care of all the documentation. Just explain your experience, Mark.
Oh, it was great. I put it up less than 10 days ago. I got way more than any dealer offered me. And the guy that I bought it from, I talked to him at length. He financed it. He got a 6% interest rate. He put nothing down. We both sat there after he test drove it. He signs his app. I signed mine. Money was in the bank today.
Now,
it's unbelievable.
Judy, if your person meets you and tests it and wants to go home and think about it, and then 3 days later calls and says, okay, I'll buy it, do you take a cashier's check? Do you take this? Do you take that? You say, I don't have to take anything. Blinker's taking all the risk. They do the ACH. They literally take care of it. They draft his account and deposit in yours, and they verify it before they transfer title. Do you understand this is an amazing phenomenon?
It's
and
so
it's all
easy.
free.
Okay,
It's all free.
And more importantly, once again, the biggest part is that financing part, because a lot of people don't have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. It's hard to sell a car for cash.
Now, Judy, I'm going to be taking a break, and we're having technical difficulties, and I don't want you to think I'm hanging up. If you have follow-up questions, I want to answer them, because you will never find anything as easy and as complete. And when we take this break, if you don't hear anything, just know that we are here. And, we are going to have some music out? Okay, good. But we are having a little technical difficulty, but I urge you to stay tuned. We'll still do the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. And we will get to all of your calls. BecomeTheBanker.info for Joe Chiano's financial product, Become the Banker, which is overfunding life insurance. Or you can call him at 303-779-6600. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around.
I didn't know when. 58 what? I have no idea.
Did you sell your car? Then
oh, yeah.
But I saw one that you were
10 days. It took 10 days.
I thought you liked it.
Chiropractor.
No, this is a different car. I got a shitload of cars.
So how did you come up with the price?
Blinker gives a suggested price from the black book. It was crazy though.
I sold mine in 5 days. No kidding. And they financed it also. The thing about it is they have that financing.
That's where they make all their money.
My Mercedes,
I
had great follow-ups. I couldn't sell it because of how much it was, but pain and pressure.
You might have been able to now because they have so many more users now.
Did your people?
What do you think? Go off the private?
No, because it's got 20,000 on the bumper.
Mine did.
I would think about 20,000.
Yeah, but yours was transferable. I mean, yours was aftermarket.
No, but I still had 20,000 left.
I know, but it was aftermarket. I would have had to check.
No. I still had it there. I only had 40,000 miles, so we still had 20,000 through Hyundai.
On the 5-year?
How much yours? 14.
Oh, okay.
So did you go off the private party or the retail, or just doing average or the price?
No, I went with the highest they had.
The highest.
Yeah, so they told me
off retail though. So
mine was 10.9.
So this was like 21 for retail or 28 for the private. So I was like, I was shoot for the highest, which was like 21.
Well, I go, here's how I did mine. I went retail to begin with. And then I lowered it in 4 days, I lowered it 500, then I lowered it another 500 and got my, and I got like a lot of new stuff on mine.
You didn't under...
Yeah, well, you put all that information.
That's what I saw.
But I started it.
You got to put all that stuff there, yeah.
I'd sell the hell out of this.
You didn't negotiate with you?
Yeah, we negotiated.
Okay.
Not in person.
Right.
We already had the deal done.
Gotcha.
I listed it at, I want to say 10.8, and I ended up selling it at 9.4.
What year was the car and what make?
16 Hyundai Accent. It still had a bumper-to-bumper 20,000-mile warranty.
No, like I say, Blinker really, and when you first do it, there might be a little...
And his payments are going to be low as shit.
I got a 2008 350Z.
Oh, that would sell. I don't know if Blinker's a place for that.
You know what?
It's got its own
40,000 miles.
Yeah, people, that's it. That's kind of the spec. I don't know, man. It doesn't hurt you putting it on there.
Exactly, you can take it off.
Not only that, you get a free Carfax. You don't pay a nickel. All they do is make money on the loan.
I like that.
And their loans, if you have normal credit, it's a normal interest rate.
Exactly, that is great.
Same shit as a credit union.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. The part that impressed me is I meet him at Sam's Club. He goes out on the test drive, comes back, he accepts, signs,
On the app.
and then it pops up on mine, I sign, and then I get congratulations, your money will be in the bank tomorrow.
See, not only that, if you have an issue,
Right.
they're on it, and they'll call you and says, hey, did you guys see this that you need to, accept or whatever and stuff. I mean, you call them up, they're on it.
That's awesome. I'm looking at it right
I'm
now.
going to do it right now.
This is
Oh,
awesome.
But you got to take a picture of the car.
You're right. You're right.
It'll walk you through everything.
Yeah.
I saw that.
First you do your license
license plate.
And if you have the title, you take a picture of the
I got the
title,
title, too.
you take a picture of the registration, and put all that up on.
And if it's financed, you just give them the credit union info, and they handle all that. They do the payoff.
But we'll be taking a lot of pictures of the car.
You know what was
title,
interesting?
Registration.
You know what the guy told me though that bought mine? He bought his first car that he totaled through Blaker. Okay? This is interesting. He said they sold his note about 5 months after. I thought they were holding on to the paper. They're starting to sell the paper.
Oh, imagine if they get better.
Yeah, of course.
You're right. And they've already made their money.
You just have to give the pro.
Sure.
I don't know, man. Some of that servicing, that's where the money's at.
And maybe
No prescription, no side effects.
Or you know what they're probably doing to buy them? They're probably rolling 20, 40, 100, 2, 3,000 of them into,
buy them into one.
and then selling them.
And so he sold his in 10, I sold mine in 5, but as they get more cars and more people, it's going to get, because the inventory is not really out there right now.
I'm going to look into that.
Oh, it's
And it's great for the buyer too, because they're not going to pay that crazy ass dealer price on a used car. And the seller's not end up getting stupid traded.
And they get the Carfax and
Okay, how are things going? Do we have
My
any
trade-in
stuff?
was, they offered me $6,200 in my trade-in. I ended up selling it for $94.
What a great deal.
We missed.
I got a good deal.
Well, that's more than one live. Just to scrap them. Let's not do it. Let's let them worry about it.
And like I say, you don't have to do it. I mean, if you don't get the offer and stuff.
So what am I doing?
It's great.
It's really cool.
All right.
Guys, I got something coming up.
Physical medicine, chiropractic rehab.
That's what she said.
In one place. Visit downtownhealthcare.com.
Funny. Let's talk about countertops and cabinets and getting a price on the phone. Art of Granite. Artofgranite.net will get you the website. He's a great guy. And what I love about Art of Granite is you will absolutely love the price. Call and get it. He doesn't charge for anything but fabrication and installation. And a small markup on cabinets. All of the stone that he imports, he's a direct stone importer, that's all wholesale or below. He never charges more than that. And he'll give you a price on the phone. He'll do the bathroom free when you have the kitchen done. And guess what? He tears out and hauls away free. And that's a big deal. Artofgranite.net. Check him out. 303-386-5919. Get your price on the phone. 386-5919. And I like Mitch Valeria because he guarantees satisfaction, and you'll love it. 303-386-5919.
Ankmar Garage Doors at ankmar.com.
I'll tell you the biggest ripoff in the world are
When it comes to vital home services like plumbing,
the,
heating, cooling, electric, and drainage,
one price.
you want a company
Short line is now quote a one price deal.
that has qualified
Just
people.
basically they should be called ripoff artists.
In all cases.
Seriously, one price my ass.
Knowledge and
One expensive price, one higher than any other Hyundai
in
dealer.
my own home. I've been involved with Plumbline Services for more than 30
What's his
years.
name also does one price though too.
Honest, ethical service, and
what's his name?
all prices are quoted up front before work begins.
Rockies.
And best of all,
Who?
there's a
Rockies.
100%
Rockies Auto?
Right, they don't negotiate, right?
I guarantee I can walk in there and negotiate.
Oh, I thought they had the
They don't have a one price.
Oh, okay, I thought they were.
Everybody
I thought they
said
didn't negotiate.
prices are clearly marked. I
Right.
never said.
Okay.
I've never used the word ever.
Oh,
No
okay,
negotiating.
okay.
Look
I've
at him
never
trying to
used-
stir it up.
No. I've never
No.
said one price ever.
No. I just thought that's what they did. They had the
No.
prices on the market. And that's what you
No,
said.
they clearly mark them, and that doesn't mean you have to pay those.
I thought that's.
I don't know of any one price store anymore. I don't know of any. I think Champs used to be, but I don't know if they are.
Short line is.
Well, no, doesn't. I don't even know if Rolly is. I have no idea.
If people won't negotiate, they're crazy. I've always said that. So if I walk in here and we're $5 off, you're not going to move it, huh, bud?
Go ahead.
Just so you know, I did do that one on the air.
Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors. And what's on your mind? Just give us a call and we'll help solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. It really is the only show of its kind. I want you to pass it around. You know, here's how people find out about the show, unfortunately. Somebody gets screwed somewhere somehow, and then they're talking to somebody who talks to somebody who says, hey, you got to call Martino. You know, you got to call him. He does a great job helping people. And then they call us and they find out about the show. Some people say, call Martino. I don't like him. He's a loudmouth, but he gets the job done. Or they might say, you know, call Martino and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Who cares, right? I say, call me anything not late for dinner. Just set, and then tell people about the show. All right, please. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live all over the country on those mediums, plus iHeartRadio app. We have other affiliates as well. So if you hear us, here's how you can always get in touch with us. 303-MARTINO. That's it. On and off the air. Now, for the show here at KHOW, it's 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We were talking about buying and selling cars, and we were talking about other things like Become the Banker. We'll talk to all of that. Judy called and says, what's the best way to sell a car? I'm so happy she said that. Before I say that, just let me give that number out for One Clear Choice Garage Doors, because they are the greatest when it comes to garage door service. We've had them for years, and people love them. They have garage door openers starting at just $333. And they have wonderful garage doors themselves, okay? It's One Clear Choice Garage Doors, 303-565-6409, 565-6409, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Okay, so Judy says, how do I sell a car? And we said blinker.com's a great way. Now, remember this, okay? What makes a great place? It's a place that has a lot of hits. Like Cars.com, I'm saying this because they do have a lot of hits, and Auto Trader and all of those. But the thing about Blinker, the thing we like, and the reason we put Blinker.com on our referral list is because of how they do business. They make you like a dealer. They provide financing to the buyer without you having to be involved. They allow you to have the strength of a dealership with all the electronic transfers and documents generated. So if someone calls, Judy, and they say, I want to buy your car, then you meet them and they try it out. Let's say they like it. When they decide to buy, Blinker will send them any document they need to sign when they need to sign it. They will also make sure they have verified funds in a bank account and electronically withdraw those funds and deposit them into your account and then instruct you when to sign your documents. Those documents are only exchanged after payment has been made, and it's a done deal. What were you going to...
Well, they guarantee it, too.
Mark literally did it over the weekend.
Yeah, everything's ready by the time someone test drives. If, you know, you should have everything done. Then when they test drive, if they want it, I sign my app, they sign their app, they left with the car, the money was in the bank. It's that easy.
Now, you had some follow-up questions, Judy.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, what if you have a car that really is in premium condition and you want to maximize your dollar? Does Blinker take that into consideration?
Well, first of all, Blinker doesn't set the price. Why do you think Blinker sets the price?
Oh, I don't know.
You're selling the car. What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, okay, so I determine the price?
Of course you do. It's all it is. It's an advertising site that you use, but in addition to advertising your car, they close the deal and they provide financing to the buyer.
Okay.
But the only thing we've run up against, if you've had major
you get a free Carfax.
They won't sell the car.
They won't sell a vehicle if there's been, quote, severe accident damage.
But that's a protection. I like that.
Well, it's because they're lending on it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah. So if the car's been in a major wreck, as determined by them, they won't sell it.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
What are you selling?
I'm selling, it's a 2000 Honda Accord. It's a coupe.
What do you think it's worth? I'm just curious.
Well, I guess I had wanted to get like $2,500 for it.
Man, that doesn't sound terrible. I don't know what they're worth. How many miles on it?
You'll get it quick.
How many miles?
the thing is I took it to my mechanic, because I want it to be in, like I don't have to. About the condition. Anyway, it has about 174,000 miles on it, and basically it has.
That's not a lot for the year.
What?
That's not a lot of miles for your year.
No, it isn't, and it has new paint. It's got tinted windows.
I bet we have people calling asking about it.
You said 175,000.
Yes, but actually, my mechanic said, he says, you can get much more for that.
Well, here's the deal. You can get whatever you want for it. And again, you sell it as is. You don't guarantee the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just download on your phone Blinker. That's it. Go to the App Store and download Blinker, and it'll walk you right through it. You'll have it up in about, I don't know, an hour.
Yeah, it tells you how to take the picture and everything.
It does everything.
You put in the extras, new paint, all that stuff. That's all up to you.
All right.
Would you let us know how it goes, Judy? Let us know how it goes.
I will.
Because
I hope that it's sold in 2 days.
Maybe it will be.
At that price range, I think it will be.
Hey, is it in really good condition, Judy?
It's in perfect condition.
You know what? That car can be sold right here and now. People listening right now, what color is it?
Well, it's black, and it's had a new paint job within the past 6 years.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that age, I know. There was in a parking lot, somebody had run a shopping cart into one of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, just painting that door, we thought, well, let's just paint the whole thing. Because it's really a nice-looking car.
For grins, send us a photo.
But the only thing is I want more than $2,500.
Of course you do. That's what I'm saying. How much do you want for it?
Well, I was going to market it at $39.95.
That's not. Okay. You. That's a great price.
Okay.
So, where did 2,500 come up anyway? I don't remember mentioning that price.
Well, I guess the thing is I think my daughter bought a new car, and the dealer wouldn't give her hardly anything.
Well, that's a dealer on trade. Don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with it. Listen, you do me a favor, and you send us a photo for the hell of it, and then go get Blinker. Chad, while we're on this topic, what did you want to know? It seems to be car day again. Okay, go ahead.
So you always tell people, have a car checked out, and then you talk about it, and then I'm thinking, how do you get a car checked out when the dealer's not going to let you drive it off without...
Well, okay, SOS inspections will come to them. If they will not let that happen, don't buy it. It's that simple. If you cannot get a car checked, either driving it somewhere or having the person... Now, automotive MDs and SOS inspection will come to you, and they will do a pre-buy inspection. Pro Auto Care will do a pre-buy inspection. Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair will be a pre-buy. Will do a pre-buy. Sheridan Auto Tech will do a pre-buy. I believe Pickering's. I believe all of our people will do a pre-buy.
Yeah, I would expect that. Are they going to charge you rent? How do they protect their asset? I guess.
I don't know how they do it. They put a dealer plate on it and they have you go. I really don't know, Chad. I don't know, but I do know that many of them let you take it to be checked. Others want a place to come to you.
Right.
And that's fine. Great. That's fine. That's a good question, though, because we often just say it, and we assume people know how to do it. We have more coming up.
This report is sponsored by Scandinavian
Design. There's still a closure of I-70 east of town there.
And then once after you do it one time, it'll be you just walk right through it.
Well, now, I'll go buy another car real quick.
You have the title?
30 seconds. No, I still.
All I'm saying is that you just take a picture of the title. And they'll tell you in 30 seconds if the picture's good enough.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
The highways are looking pretty good in town. For the forecast, partly sunny.
Like I say, you put in there, any extra.
Coming up, 10 seconds, 5. Being accused of a crime, any crime can ruin your life, and I hope it really never happens to you. If it does, you need to get help. Now, first of all, DUIs can be prevented with with Uber and Lyft and designated drivers, it's really dumb to get a DUI seriously. Now, Joe's not going to preach to you about it, but he will help to make sure your rights are preserved, that you weren't falsely accused, and that you have the best defense possible. And that's on any crime. So initial consultations are free. Call him. And on big cases, he takes $500 off for Martino. Listeners, please ask about it. Don't take a chance and drink and drive. Don't do any of that dumb stuff. But please, remember, Joe Lazzara will help you, and he'll give you personalized attention. It's what you need when you're in trouble. I hope you never need him, but remember this name. Maybe pass it on to a friend. Joseph Lazzara. On my referral list at referralist.com, 303-429-6200, 303-429-6200.
Pros in the know. Start with love.
Tommy, have you ever heard of a TV producer, Joel Spicola?
Yes.
That's who the lady on 4 is complaining about for back pay.
Spicola. Is that a 12, Channel 12?
The Lifted Life. It's that's the TV show, Lifted Life, and it's about 4-wheel drives. But she was a producer.
I need to know where it aired.
It's like, these back stores have crazy names, like Lumbar.
Man, Tom wants to know where the show aired or airs.
What was it?
Like the Lumbar or something like that.
The Lumbar.
If they do a refinance for you, they put you in a...
NBCSN, the new season started last week.
Oh.
But it used to be on what?
Shorter term or a lower rate or both.
The Lost Speed channel?
So it's Joe.
Velocity channel. Thanks, honey. Hang on.
Joe Spicola?
Joel. Joel.
What's the guy in Seinfeld? Joel.
Killer.
Yeah.
Joel Rifkin.
No, not the killer. Not the Joel. The nuts. Elaine is going out with.
That's not Joe.
Yeah.
No, his name's not Joe. His name is I can. Buddy. No. What the hell's his name? Joe. It's not Joe. The face painter.
Oh.
No.
Buddy.
No. The guy that was dressed up in the clown suit.
Oh, yeah, that was going to kill her.
Yeah.
He almost trapped her in his apartment.
Right.
Is that wait, they had a serious...
Crazy Joe Travolta.
So it was Joe.
They had a character on like that?
Oh, fuck, man, so Elaine walks into his apartment because the door's open, he's in the dark room, and she sees all these pictures of her, like in the shower, taken with the telephoto lens. And he comes out.
I'm surprised they had a topic like that.
She basically, what did she, mace him?
Yeah,
Pepper spray.
Bianca.
Oh, she sprayed Bianca in his eyes and ran off.
What time for Bianca?
Peppermint.
Cherry. Oh my God.
Sad I knew that.
No, but hold on a sec. I never knew that. You know what? I thought I'd seen every episode.
Oh, it's a good one.
He dressed up as a clown and he kicked these guys' butt. Remember, he's walking through the park and
he kicks all their asses.
Yeah.
Crazy Joe Travolta. And he wanted to kill Kramer.
And he was truly a murderer.
He was in 2 or 3. He'd leave them messages on their answering machine. I'm coming to get you, Kramer.
Because he didn't invite him to a party or something.
So here he is. Whenever the mail arrives.
Yep, Crazy Joe, man. Oh, this is when he comes out of NBC.
844-LARSON tax.
Look at the old posters in there, like Blossom.
Oh, there he is.
That's Crazy Joe. He won't shake his hand, watch. All right, Jerry. Jerry.
And then Joe's going to get, what did he do on the pilot? Remember he came to the pilot? What did he do?
Was he ever arrested?
Oh, he was in the
audience.
Was he arrested?
No. He was in about 3-4 episodes.
Yeah.
I forgot he was on the pilot. Look at him. That's great. You should see him in the clown suit, man. He beats the shit out of all these people in the park.
So I really do know what
the kids are like, hey, look at the guy in the clown suit. He goes over and just beats the shit out of him.
Go to it. He jumped over there. He yelled the same thing that Booth did when he assassinated Lincoln.
And he was
What
going
was that?
to
What
see.
did he yell? I never knew
Some
Booth.
Latin phrase.
I didn't know Booth yelled anything.
Yeah, he jumped over and then broke his ankle and stuff, whatever, when he hit the shades.
From iHeartRadio.
Some Latin phrase that means death to tyrants or something like that.
Semper Tyrannus or something.
Oh.
Six Semper Tyrannus. Okay.
Yeah, 6 Semper Tyrannus. Wow.
I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. We have Joe Chiano with us, becomethebanker.info for that video. And if you have any questions, and I have a couple emails we'll get to on that. Their next seminar is this Thursday evening, and you can find out more there or call them at 303-779-6600. Lee, what's happening with you? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Leanne, what's happening, Leanne?
Hi. So I worked for a company, a TV show, for about 2.5 years.
And Leanne, where was that produced?
In Golden, Colorado.
In Golden, and
yeah.
And what was the name of the production company?
There wasn't really a production company, but the name of the show was The Lifted Life.
The Lifted Life, okay. And that's about four-wheel drives?
Yeah, so they customized
like trucks and stuff?
Jeeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, these are becoming very popular shows, these kinds of shows. And I know our friend Willie B. has done a few car shows. Do you know Willie B.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of him. I don't know if we've worked with him on the show, though.
Anyway, who was the host? I'm just curious more than who's the host on this one?
So there's not one specific host, but it follows the family that owns the shop, the Hill family.
Oh, the Hill. And what are you?
I was the associate producer for the show.
Okay, and your background is in TV?
Yeah, I went to school for film and television and got hired on with them pretty soon after I graduated.
Okay, and what's going on?
So they weren't getting pretty much any money in, and they weren't able to pay me. So I ended up quitting. My last day was November 9th.
Were you a W-2?
I should have been, but he was paying me as a 1099.
Yeah, which they try to get away with, but if you're captive during that TV production, that's hard to say, man.
Well, how could they say it? I don't see any way they could.
No, I don't either.
Did they tell you what time to be there?
Yeah, it was like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday type of thing.
Man, if that's not a job, Tom, I don't know what is.
So they were trying. Yeah, they're
literally 9 to 5.
So many employers try to get away with this. But anyway, that's neither here nor there right now. You're supposed to be paid whether it's 1099 or not, right? I mean, but as a 1099, did you have a contract?
I didn't actually sign anything. He made some of the other people that we contracted with, like camera operators, sign agreements, but I never did.
Who did he make the check out to? Was it made out to you personally?
Yeah, it was.
Man, this is labor board all day long. If they don't pay, they're going to really screw themselves.
Now, there are cases that you can have freelance photographers and all of that, and they work for more than one guy, and freelance producers, too. Listen, what I'm saying is I don't want to be the one to make that determination. I'm just saying it's more than not people are employees when people are trying to make them independent contractors. But let's get to the heart of the matter. What is the heart of the matter?
So the heart of the matter is that on the day that I left, he still owed me $3,355.
Now, does he recognize that?
Yes, so I actually even have an email from him that he sent me on my last day that said he was going to pay me in 4 equal payments starting the following week. And it would have been like
And he acknowledged the amount? He acknowledged the amount?
Yeah, so I have an email from him.
Okay, good. That's very good. So what happened?
Yeah. So he hasn't sent me anything. I have no money that is owed to me. And I've tried following up with him.
When did you leave his employee? When did you leave his operation or the job?
My last day was November 9th of 2018.
Okay, so this is fairly recent. So who is this guy?
He's the executive producer of the show.
And what is his name?
Joel.
Joel. And when was the last time you talked to Joel?
The last time I talked to him was a couple days before Christmas. I had been texting him at least once or twice a week just to stay in the loop on if they had gotten any money.
Who is Joel producing it for?
Well, the show right now, they just switched networks. It's on NBCSN now.
And is it actually airing?
It is, yeah. There's going to be a new episode tonight.
Okay, so NBCSN buys the show, or do they put it on for barter?
I think they pay for the airtime. I'm not entirely sure. It wasn't very new switch when I was
Well, I
with
guess
the
what I'm
show.
getting at is how does their money come in? Because this will be very important for you. Because, for example, if they do barter and they sell spots, then you go to the sponsors and you put a lien on that, or you put a garnishment. Or if they're paid from the network, it depends. A lot depends on how they're paid, because once you get a judgment, and it's going to be easy for you to get a judgment, the big deal is going to be executing the judgment for collection.
I bet one call to Joel, I can handle this.
If he has the money, but a lot of these guys don't have any money. Now, how long was the show in limbo? Was it taken off a network, or did he actively switch while it was still on the air?
No, they had actively switched. So the last season aired, I want to say about a year ago on the Velocity channel, and all of 2018 we spent filming new episodes. And,
is that common? That doesn't sound efficient to me. They took a whole year in production.
No, it took way too long. He said that he told our sponsors, because it's a sponsor-funded show.
Of
and
course.
when he was pitching season
well, that's
5,
that's what I'm getting at. So he got it put on by sponsors. He was paid by sponsors, and then he bought the airtime and ran the show?
That's how we did it when I was still there with Velocity. I don't know how they're doing it now with NBCSN, but I don't think that the network is paying them for the show. I think they're buying the airtime.
Ah, that is a new model, by the way. People do that. They go out and get their own sponsors, and then the NBC Sports Network buys it.
It's like every Sunday or Saturday show here.
Yeah, a lot of them are co-ops, you're right, or brokered. Okay, so the last time you talked to him was when?
It was a couple days before Christmas, and I have tried following up, texting him over the last couple of weeks. And
you have his number, right?
Tom, I just called
I do.
his cell, and the voicemail's full. I wondered if I should shoot him a text.
Yes. And tell him that we're trying to get in touch with him about this issue. Really, this issue, the cheapest thing in the world he could do is pay this. Joel Spicola, right?
Yeah.
Spicola, but you don't know the name of his company. I mean, was it just him, or was there Spicola Productions, or what's it called?
His was Media Hub. I don't think he was producing it through Media Hub, but he did have checks written to him.
Okay, we're gonna follow this up. Okay.
Okay.
And Leanne, you give us your contact. Make sure we have your contact information. Joel Spicola, whether it's Media Hub, it's The Lifted Life.
Yes.
And it centers around a family in Golden that does lifting and modifications.
Yeah.
And the name of that shop is what?
It's called 5R Trucks.
Yeah, and again, that has nothing to do with these guys. We're just trying to get on some information on this. Okay, hold on. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kareem? You called and said you paid cash on July 20th of 2018 for an RV, and you can't get the title, and somehow you were told it had something to do with a DBA or somebody told us it had to do with Intermountain Coach Leasing changing their trade name affidavit. It sounds like a bunch of bull to us. Mark, you talked to him?
I talked to whoever claimed to be the GM, and Suzanne nailed it. This guy says they never really talked to the owner. They got to email him. There's nothing he can do. He can't write checks. This place sounds like an absolute nightmare. I cannot believe this guy has been waiting, coming up on a year to get a title.
Guess what? We're going to you go to the dealer licensing board. These people are going to give you a refund. Now, you're probably going to say you don't want a refund. You want the unit, right?
Actually, this sounds so shady, I would like a refund.
Okay.
They need to buy this thing back at this point, but the guy can't write a check. I don't even know how they do that. I felt like GM. This guy sounded more like a shagman or whatever. He says he's a GM, but he has no power to do anything. I don't know what to make of it.
They sound like clowns, in other words.
It's not like they're rude or anything. They're just like, there's nothing we can do. I already emailed the owner. Hopefully I hear back from him. It's been how many months? 7 months, 8 months.
I want to know if anyone's had any dealings with Intermountain Coach Leasing in Colorado Springs on Platte Avenue. How did you find them when you went out looking for an RV?
Years ago, we were looking at a specific model, and they were a franchisee. And last summer, we were driving through there, and they had a used one available. But we didn't realize till later that they were no longer the franchisee. So there may have been a problem with the dealership even at that time.
Yeah,
well, there's something going on.
I want to tell people I have to give a plug to Century RV. You know, just to let people know, CenturyRV.com, our people on the referral list. What were you going to say, Mark?
Well, I was going to say, you know, their phone number is 719.
Now, this is, by the way, the bad guys.
Yeah, Intermountain Coach.
Leasing.
Intermountain Coach Automotive Plaza is what it
I'm
says.
sorry. Okay, what's the number?
719-243-6154. I mean, it's the craziest. If this guy can't write a check or do anything, how does he even sell these?
We do a public service when we give out numbers, and people say, why do you do that? And honest to God, we do it for a few reasons. One, there are some cases like this one. We just want them to know how serious this is and that people do listen and care. Because really, it's not showing that Tom Martino has power. It's showing that we, the consumer, we're not going to take this garbage. We're going to let people know. So that's one reason. The second reason we do it is sometimes people are just downright dirty, and we want to make life difficult for them. That's not the case here right now. And then there's the third one where we go to war, we call it, and we want to shut them down. Now, in this case, we just want to inform, and we want to let them know that we are listening and waiting, and we don't take this as an answer. Oh, well, you know, we don't get a hold of the owner. I mean, can you imagine not being able to get a hold of an owner except every couple of weeks? Now,
by email.
I want to know who the owner is. And we ought to put in it. You ought to, Kareem, I want you to go to the dealer licensing board or call them or go online. And the Colorado State, it's the Department of Revenue dealer licensing board, and you complain about them. And then we need to look up online who the owner is.
You know, it's possible they don't have the title, they can't get the title, and they don't have money to refund this guy because their own GM can't write a check. I mean, this is crazy.
And I urge people to let them know, very kindly, you heard about him on the air. And we ought to get this back on tomorrow during the first hour when
we have to, while
when
the
our Springs affiliate
is
on. 719-243-6154.
This is Denver
It was truly baffling. The guy seemed like a nice enough guy, but he's like, hey, I can't write checks. I'm not allowed to do any of this.
They're expensive.
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. How do they do trade-ins?
Yeah. So after your health care, Tom, still haven't mentioned it.
Who is it?
We're not going to.
They had a whole bunch of bad things with their oxygen delivery. In fact, you were probably here. And they said that they opened up, if anybody has
yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, big deal. So they put out a new phone number.
Yeah, put out a number just
or anybody had issues.
I don't know if this helps you, Mark or Tom. Apparently, Intermountain Coach was acquired by Davy Coach in Sedalia, and then that was acquired by private equity partners in the DTC. Now, the guy who called and told me this says he knows that they acquired the bus and the inventory side, but wasn't sure about the coach side, but maybe this is why it's all squirrely, because this all went down last year.
7, 8 months. Yeah. I drive it through their fucking showroom.
Did they say they gave them,
you know there are 200,000 podcasts in America?
It starts with
Probably
building
more.
Capital One cafes.
Did they say they gave them pennies? Or how is he driving?
Like a
How's this guy driving?
Is he still on?
With no fees or minimums.
Ask him if he's been getting temps.
You'll always
I'm
find
just curious.
people ready to help you.
Hey, Kareem, have you been getting temp
Welcome to
tags?
Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet? For consumers only. Offered
But
by
they
Capital One
issued
Bank
them
member
for you.
GIC. Cafes available in select locations.
All right.
Copyright 2018 Capital One.
How long can a dealer do that? Forever?
This report is
If
sponsored
they
by
budget
Credit
to make
Karma.
it look
Travel
like,
across Mile High City Freeway system.
I think they can get away with it.
Tom, 1 minute, 1 minute, fix it 24/7, 6
I wonder if coaches actually count the same way cars do. I don't know why either.
This wasn't a trailer, was it?
Down there's a crash being cleared.
Yeah, fifth wheel there, I said it was,
Watch out for that.
actually, I don't think it hits that.
He paid $150,000 for it, so.
Smith Road.
That could be pretty nice.
That area altogether.
That could be a little flatbed trailer.
Well, this was used, Ron.
Only a high of 31 tonight.
Could be a-
Oh, wait, he had 27,000 miles on it.
Could be a U-Haul.
So they don't get 27,000 miles, so they don't do it.
IP Wagner. 630
right now.
K-How.
No, but it could be a motorcycle.
Free credit score. And free credit monitoring. From Credit Karma.
You're crazy, Joe DeVore.
Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
Great result.
Some people might call it $1,000.
Number two, he's waiting outside.
But wouldn't you take it? Well, you've got 16 chances a day to win it. The 16
Donut or something. What is it called? Coffee. Donut or something.
Fix It 24/7 will come to your home and fix any problem after they find it. But you know what that really means. That means that if you have a problem, you want to know, well, what is it going to take to find it? This is where the good part is. It's only $39 for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. Now, you're going to have to wait when it comes to heating right now because of the weather. But it doesn't matter. $39 gets it found, no matter how long it takes, especially with electrical problems. They can be a real problem. And then when they find it, they give you a complete, full written report and estimate. If you have the work done, they credit you the $39. If you don't have it done, well, all you'll ever pay is $39. So it's really good to know you have a reliable, safe company where you know predictability. $39, or you get it fixed for great value, great time, great service. 720-526-3939. That's 720-526-3939. Their website is fixmyhome.com. I know the ownership and I know the crew. 720-526-3939.
Membership has gotten a lot more affordable in recent months, more than ever, really, if you consider that loan limits
I like him a lot.
to an all-time high.
Who?
And
I should have mentioned it. I mean, I really like him a lot. Yeah. They came out to do the $39 special to tune up my furnace. And they found this little piece that was messy.
They've got you covered.
And they fixed it, and it's working phenomenally well.
So it's easy to customize a program that fits your needs, including options that require no money down.
They do it. You went to their Christmas party.
With American Financing, there's no commission involved, so your financial goals come first.
I like this, guys.
I do too. I mean, they're really nice and professional and plain. You should use them. Let me have a name for a handyman.
Just to qualify.
Oh, we got two that are great.
Let me know handyman because I need to have somebody that can actually update my house that I'm selling. I'm selling. So that I have some people that, you know, something like that. That can do some drywalling.
The Raleigh House
changing sinks and all that, you know, to update the
several locations. Now, we
cabinets
can do a commercial and give you the number, but what they want to do is give you information, and then you make the choice. They want to help you make the right choice. They'll talk about cost, programs, scholarships, whether insurance pays, how insurance pays, what's involved, how long it is, what signs to it, what is recovery, are there medications involved. What do I do about approaching the addict in my life? Anything you want to ask. What starts an addiction? How do you know there is an addiction? Any question you have, and it's confidential and it's complimentary.
That Dot got all the paperwork filled out for
5559. This is so important because things never change without some
They'll recognize
They'll
us.
just stay the same, and another day goes by. That's painkillers, meth, amphetamines, alcohol, whatever the addiction. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. Or search for the Raleigh House on my referral list at referralist.com.
Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
I'm Tom Martino. Thank you for being here. I got an email, 303-713-TALK. As far as becomethebanker.info. That's the website I want you to go to. But what's the smallest policy practical that you guys have done for people as far as overfunding? Now, I want to warn people, usually that cash value, it's not meaningless. Excuse me, the life insurance, it's not meaningless. And they don't push big life insurance. The purpose of this is the cash account that grows tax-free. But the cash account has to be at least big enough to pay off all of your loans when you die, because through your life you're going to use it to supplement your Social Security. So let's say you take $4,000 a month or $3,000 a month. That adds up, and then you always want the life insurance to be able to pay that off. So, Joe, what is the smallest amount people have gotten in life insurance?
The smallest amount, Tom, has been like $200 a month.
What does that buy them? What kind of policy?
That buy them about maybe $100,000 to $150,000 of death benefit, but the majority of the $200 a month,
yeah, of course,
is going to go to the cash account,
right,
which they can use immediately,
right,
day one.
They can use 95% of it,
right? And then we have actually that doctor that came to
yeah.
our show.
Yes. Oh, really?
Dr.
Did
Who. Remember that?
Did he sign up?
Yo, he did. He did. And he sold a property, and the equity
he took
was
the money,
substantial amount,
and he put it all
into
the
really? Policy. So it just depends.
Very cool. I know he was impressed about that. He said, what if I want to make a lump sum?
That's exactly what he did. He did it all over 2 years.
But you're required to have a certain amount of death benefit for the money you put in because the government doesn't want you tricking them.
Exactly right. So,
like, you can't get a $20,000 life insurance policy and then put in $1 million of cash value.
Absolutely not. We have to play by the rules of the IRS
and
to
then,
keep it tax-free.
And then the bank, the life policy grows automatically with the money, too.
That is right.
Okay.
That is right.
So you can get in for as little as $200 a month, but practically speaking, what's the sweet spot for customers normally?
Between $500 and $600 a month.
Okay. And then whenever they get a lump sum, they can put it in.
Absolutely right.
And they never lose that.
They never lose that, and they can take out money from the lump sum day one.
And somebody,
immediately.
Okay, good. So that's important to know. Okay, thank you. They wanted to know a little amount. Let's talk to Joshua. This is a very important topic, Joshua, because we talk about it a lot. Go ahead. Joshua?
Yes.
Go
Can
ahead.
You hear me?
Yes.
Hi. So I had a question about getting some clarification on bad faith law.
Okay. What do you need to know?
So I got this car last year, mid-year, and this warranty company has a contract with me to cover the damages, anything for the powertrain.
Let me mention something to you. This is not legal advice. You said you wanted to know about the law. There is no real law that I can tell you that says bad faith. When people talk about law, they talk about two things. There are statutory laws that are passed by Congress and by state lawmakers for state laws or federal laws, right? State lawmakers for state laws, Congress for national or federal laws. Then there are things called common law. And common law are precedents established by courts. And they become law in that if the court said this is what you should do, then in the future people use those precedents to make that the rule of the land. However, as Ruth Bader Ginsburg proved, she could change even precedent if it's not constitutional. But let's now get to bad faith. Bad faith is one of those precedent laws, meaning that in the past, insurance companies have been taken to task and penalized heavily for bad faith. And bad faith goes beyond breach of contract. Breach of contract means you did not do what the contract said on either party. Bad faith is when somebody depends on you to do more than not to do more than the contract, to do the contract, but not to work against them. And many times insurance companies will work to prove that you don't have a case or purposely delay your case, and that's when it's called bad faith. And the courts have routinely granted penalties, and many times what's called treble damages. So they would triple the damage. In the case of a warranty company, I've not heard of bad faith. I also have not heard of bad faith with regular contracts. There are things, however, called egregious breaches or breaches that are punitive in nature where the juries have penalized them in a punitive nature. But I've never heard it called bad faith. So in your case, you have a warranty company, right?
Correct.
And I don't think we can call that insurance bad faith, but I don't know. We'd have to ask an attorney who fights these cases. So let's ask what the issue is. They won't cover what?
So my transmission went out at the end of 2018.
And how much did you pay for this?
As of now, the repair's still not
No, how much did you pay for the warranty?
The warranty contract was $1,525.
$1,525?
Yes.
And it called for what?
It was a Powertrain Plus, and it was supposed to cover any damage caused by internally moving lubricated parts inside the transmission. And so if it failed, then it should have been covered.
And you're having to fix it, and what are they saying? This could possibly be bad faith. What are they claiming? It's not covered. Why?
The warranty company cited multiple reasons when they finally gave me a denial letter. Two of them were blaming me, even though after talking to multiple mechanics and the mechanics at the shop, they said there was no way for me to know that there was a pre-existing failure.
Okay, because here's why. Most of these warranties, was this on a used car?
Yes.
Most warranties disclaim owner abuse. That's why they're saying it's your fault. They also disclaim previous wear and tear. So how many miles when you bought it?
It had 128,000.
Okay. There's almost nothing on that car that's not previous wear and tear. Okay? So buying a warranty on a used car is insane. It pays for nothing. First of all, the owner abuse, even if you have no owner abuse, you have previous wear and tear. The only thing that warranty covers are manufacturer's defects. What year is this car?
It's a 2010.
Okay, so you're looking at a 9-year-old car, right? A 9-year-old car with 128,000 miles. Don't you think all of the factory defects would have been worked out by now?
Right.
Okay, so really, Joshua, I'm not giving you a legal opinion. I'm giving you a guess. You're going to lose. You're not going to have a bad faith claim. You're not even going to win by contract, I don't think, because I think that it probably was previous wear and tear. I mean, the car had 128,000 miles on it. Did you have it checked out?
Right. I've taken it in multiple times.
No, I'm asking you, did you have it checked out before you bought it?
No.
Where did you buy it?
A&A Auto.
Where's that?
It's down in Englewood.
Did they agree? Did they say they would help you in any way?
They tried getting in touch with the warranty company, but the warranty company also told them no.
If I were you, how much are these total repairs going to be?
It's coming out to roughly $4,000.
I would go to small claims court and I would sue them here in small claims court. But you're talking about bad faith. Were you planning on hiring an attorney?
No, it was just something my dad had mentioned to me because he had heard it on your show last week. So
I don't think it applies here, but I'm not giving you the legal analysis. I just don't think it applies here. So if I were you, what I would do is take them to small claims court and find their agent here in Colorado. Suzanne?
Jeff Vick from Kimmer Transmission just texted me and says he has the vehicle. You want to ask him anything?
Yes, hold on. We can. Coming up.
This report is sponsored by Credit Karma.
Winter wreaking havoc on...
Oh, Jeff was going to go through that entire contract. I remember this one. It's a transmission deal. Or a transfer case, I forget.
You guys playing handball ever? Lately?
Dan plays pocket pool a lot.
Racquetball. Racquetball, not handball.
As well. Back in town, across the highways.
So Thursday, it starts the league. You better get in on that. Dude, it's 2 leagues.
You're right, I did.
Right now,
what didn't you do?
Fog and 24. With the traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-House.
Stickler. Your truly free credit scores.
Free
credit monitoring from Credit Karma.
And that dropped money off the insurance.
Download the Credit Karma app now. Credit Karma.
I was so happy
Here's
to get rid
the
of
progress.
it. Frees up room in my garage.
All right, CentryRV.com. We talked about RVs. Now here's how you get in touch with them. CentryRV.com, and that's 303-453-1111. The thing I like about them is they have internet pricing right here. You just go to them. You know, people come from all over the country and find them online and then come here. And they have 2 locations, just west of the city, just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims next to Woodley's, and then up north on the 119 turnoff and I-20, the 119 turnoff to Longmont and I-25, and they have a service department up there. Century RV, as in 100, the Century, CENTURY, CentryRV.com, 303-453-1111.
iHeartRadio is now your podcast.
So the dealer offered me $18,000 cash a year before that.
A year?
A year.
So it would have went down easily a grand or two. Right. Dealer offered me, they said the best they would do.
And that was cash. That wasn't trading, that was cash.
Yeah.
I think I did good.
Oh, you did great. I couldn't believe how much you got. You knew that.
Anytime, anywhere.
I thought you were calling me Crazy Joe DeBola for a while.
Crazy.
That's a company that puts in window wells.
I did great on mine too.
Why did Timmer call?
So they really cleaned it up good, huh? The
Now, what
inside,
they do mostly is rebuild the old ones, build as many windows as possible. They can either rebuild them, they can put in one where you didn't have one at all, or they can make those little ones.
And then you know what I did? I added it to our all-you-can-eat car wash.
DenverEgressWindow.com.
As soon as I listed it about 2 weeks ago, so it's 40 hours for a month, but they did a full interior, because I already had a chef food by him.
People
So,
using Zoom video
for $40, they did it for $30. They did the full interior, so it's brand new inside. And then I can bring it to the car wash for 30 days as much as I want. Because of all the stone shit, so basically
Did you give him that then? And then
no, in fact, I got a call off. I was going to cancel it today, but they're closed.
Do they cancel it and stuff? Or do they refund you, or just say, okay?
I'll pay the month.
Okay.
I'll pay the 30.
Why did you just give it to say, hey, it's a guy, and said, hey, you know, you have
because if he does any add-ons and stuff on my credit card.
Nurse practitioner or plus
Plus, I'm just not nice. What I should have done is taken that sticker off and used it for them. I could have let you use it, but you live too far away.
an entire short list of uniforms.
I can let you drive my car and do it.
Credit to get your first job posting premium placement.
Why?
Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
Adults who have crooked teeth and always wanted to deal with them, there is a way to do that. Dr. Kent Lawson has pioneered new orthodontics for adults.
Blinker, you
Straighten
guys
your
will like
teeth.
it.
It's
better, Tom even says that, it's better than the shoe joke.
Sleep apnea, which means
That's good. That's good. You know what's weird though? Dan did figure out, and I'm not kidding on this. Like your shirt, how it's embroidered. Yeah. He can tell you where you got that shirt.
Tell me where.
Send him lunch.
You got that shirt on your body.
Jordan, he went for the shoe, and he went for the shirt. If you wear a hat next to him, I'll tell you where you got your hat.
In my head.
That's right.
Jordan, you should have helped him out there.
Good. Tom Martin here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Okay, I have an email here for Become the Banker. Is there a possibility with this policy that you, with all the cash value you built up, let me get it exactly. It's over here. With all the cash value built up, is it possible you could end up dying and leaving money on the table that you never recover?
No.
How is that?
Because, see, the cash value is actually included on the death benefit. The death benefit will always be higher, Tom, than the cash value.
So no matter what you invest, in this over funding,
that is right.
The death benefit automatically grows.
It has to grow by law.
So it will cover no matter what you borrow or invest. Excuse me, not borrow. What you invest in. If you don't borrow it all or take it all, and you're in retirement and die prematurely, that money goes to your estate.
Absolutely, you get the death benefit, which is always higher than the cash value.
Okay. See, I like that because you're never leaving money on the table.
Never.
I do not like investments where you leave money on the table. So with an annuity, is it possible that you leave money on the table with an annuity ever? Can you ever be in a position where you've invested and don't get to draw it all out?
No, because it has a death benefit. So like on the example that I showed you, if you put $100,000 in and 10 years later the money grew to $145,000,
right,
and you were to die, your beneficiary will get $145,000.
Okay.
So you don't leave anything
so
on the death.
There's a lump sum of $145,000. There's also a death benefit, and there's also long-term care benefit, and then there's also an income rider for $12,000 a year.
On this particular
for life.
case.
Now,
for
Mark,
life.
though, and you personally, and again, we don't sugarcoat things. You personally, though, if you had $100,000 to invest, you wouldn't do it in something, even with the death benefit and the long-term care benefit. You would not invest in something like that and make only $100,000.
It's so conservative for me. Maybe as I get older.
For $45,000 on $100,000. So you're making like half of it again. But I don't know. Like I said, who knows what you would do with 10 years and that much money. So many people say, I can make a lot of money, you know, and they can. But you know what the reality is? I've come to learn as I get older, these conservative returns of 3%, 4%, and 5%, they're not so bad when they're guaranteed, and then you earn interest on interest. I mean, right now, if a local bank offered a 5% or a 4% even CD, people would flock to it.
Absolutely.
Flock to it.
You're right. And Tom, you were talking about the economy. You were talking about maybe having a downturn in the economy where the market will go down.
We are going to have a full-blown recession,
so
and it's starting right now.
This is when the Become the Banker strategy is going to really help people. It's guaranteed and tax-free and liquid. Nothing to do with the stock market.
Now, Suzanne, I think we're done with Joshua, or do we have something new?
No, pardon me. I didn't know you were done.
He wants a bad faith. I say he just takes him to court to try to get the repairs. I don't think he's going to win. These extended warranties on used cars are useless. They're useless. Why does anyone buy something? Now, if the car had not that many miles on it, it might be better. But remember this. They never cover previous wear and tear. They never cover pre-existing conditions. They never cover owner abuse. Let's just get right to it. What do they cover? They only cover manufacturer's defects. Well, come on. When you have an 02 or an 04 and you have 100,000, 150,000 miles, there are no owner's defects, manufacturer's defects anymore. Mark, what were you going to say?
Well, I was curious. I remember this one. We had it brought over to Jeff Vick, and he thought after reading through the entire policy, he might be able to get it done.
It's not this one. This was a different one.
It is? I just spoke to Jeff. I believe that guy's name is Jared, and Jeff still has that vehicle. That's who he was confusing with this text.
Got it.
So here's the point. When you buy a warranty, you go to the exclusions. That's what you go to. That's the most important part. Okay, call for Become the Banker's next seminar. And listen, they want you to go and ask questions. 303-779-6600 or becomethebanker.info. Meanwhile, I'm Tom Martino. I am here to help. My staff's here to help. All you have to do is find us, and that's 303-MARTINO or referralist.com.
If your goal for this year is to get out of your timeshare that has no value, your plan should be called Timeshare Exit Team. They are the best.
So what do you think? And the price goes down. What do I think about? What? How about the, we need to start talking about 2019 each year, because you get that meeting that we're because I get 10%. I mean, that's huge.
Really? You get 10%?
10%. And you're talking because of miles, you know, I'm like 10 grand a year. 10% is huge.
But this is as low risk as you get.
It's just a foundation.